I'm not gonna ask you again. Give me that god-dang video game.
Not now. I'm dealing with a giant spider here.
Bobby Hill, you give your father that game, and you do it right now.
That's okay. I got it under control. He's gonna give me the game.
Soon. I'm almost bored with it. Why don't you go inside? I'll find you later.
Come on.
Hand it over.
Mom, this is between Dad and me. And I'll give him the Game Boy when I decide I'm ready to.
That is it. I would not let a stranger, let alone my own son, think for 1 second that they can get away with showing any disrespect towards the man that I love. You do that, and you have to deal with Peggy Hill.
What are you doing, Mom? What are you doing? Come on, Mom, don't.
Game over, Bobby. Come on. That's it. Come on, show me what you got. Give me that Game Boy. Give me that.
No!
Oh, yeah.
That's mine. Give it back.
In a minute.
That's my purse.
That's right, Bobby. I believe you will find that I have no testicles. Where's your secret weapon now, huh?
She bluffing? Finish her!
Damn it. You don't want it badly enough.
Nope, not enough to start the podcast in an early hour. Podcast 35.
Engage.
Yes.
Is this 35?
This is 35, is it not?
I wouldn't know. I believe it is.
You hold on, mister.
Yeah, it's 35.
35? Oh, man. Yeah. Hi. Shit.
It's just been a busy week. I'm kind of out of it.
It's been a really busy week. As was the weekend, because what happened this weekend, Brett, Scott, and I went to a Street Fighter event.
Oh, on Friday.
Got our asses kicked in Street Fighter.
I didn't. I won 2 out of my...
No?
I played 3 rounds, won the first 2, and then Scott picked up the third one and crashed the PS3.
And then,
Remember you took a YouTube video of me winning and then zoomed it in out of my face.
I have the YouTube video. We should put that up.
Yeah, well, the ones I took look like shit. They're up on the YouTube page now. Perch 11 is the YouTube page for all the TalkRadar stuff. If you didn't already know, but yeah, they're really dark and blah. But yeah,
right after that, poor Scotty got his car stolen. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah, I came back. Car's not there.
It's returned.
Car's not there. We like the people had just pulled into the parking space and we automatically got like accusatory, like they stole their car to move it to get the parking space. But it's the good news. He just got the car back today. Woo! Yay, Scotty.
First time on.
I know we were all rooting for him. And his car's shoes that apparently make a big deal to him are still on there. They has real shiny shoes.
Yeah. That
whip does. Anyway, I'm Chris Antista.
Oh, I'm PlayStation editor Michael Raparez. Hey, Brett Elston.
And we also have making a triumphant return.
Charlie.
All right, that's special. That Charlie yelling clip is a clip from a movie called The Pope of Greenwich Village. I thought everybody knew that movie. I saw a trailer for it at the Castro Theater for a new marathon that's going on there, and it was Pope of Greenwich Village, and I'm like on my feet cheering Charlie, and I turn around and like the host is like, "Wow, one guy," and there's nobody else in the theater who's heard of the movie and happy about it. Recommend it. Can't recommend it enough. Pope of Greenwich Village. Get it on your Netflix, but not on. What were you saying about GameFly, Michael?
Oh, I was saying that over the weekend they sent me, I think,
something that was like 40-something, 46th maybe on my list of things that I wanted on my queue. It was like Tao Feng Fist of the Lotus, which I added when I first joined the service and forgot about. Because apparently with me at least, Gamefly has this habit of not sending you something if the availability is anything other than available now. If it's like medium, high, or low, they'll just automatically skip over it and go down to the next thing.
You can even get lucky.
That's my experience anyway.
You can even get lucky like at Blockbuster when like, oh, that's all checked out. Oh no, here's one right behind me. We haven't put it on the floor yet.
Most of the time I've had, okay experiences with them, but lately it's just been, here's this thing that is covered in dust. You can have that.
I totally forgot about that feeling of walking to a video store before there were chains and going to a local store when they only would get one copy of something.
Yeah.
Like I would go to rent Mega Man 3 and it was always out, and then I finally go there once and it's out, and then I go up to the front and be like, did they have Mega Man 3 back there? And they're like, yes, it just came in, and they're holding it. And like getting it in that little clear case and then seeing it was like the most magical moment you could have at a video store. Except for maybe a hand job in the bathroom.
You'd peer over the shelf looking for yourself, and then you'd have them go check in the box, the return box.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you had the game but your mom wasn't ready to get it for you, I'd go and hide it behind another game.
Yes. Right. That was also true. But anything else happened this week before we get into the top 7?
Didn't you school Dan?
Right before we started recording, Dan of TalkRadar and KOXM fame.
KOXM, not this week, but
not this week, but eventually, and of Palette Swap Ninja fame. Dan Amrick was exiting the building, and I happened around the corner right when I saw him. Like he was holding a magazine and a book and backpack. He's like trying to open the door, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to help. I just want to watch him try to open this door very clumsily. But then he does, and he opens it really, with the thing where you throw the door really wide to try to scoot through really quick because you don't have another hand to stop the door. So I walk right up behind him and sneak in the door as it's closing, and then the door to the elevator is completely closed off at night. It's just two shut doors and elevators, so there's no way in or out of that room at that point. No way out. No way out. All the doors are shut. I'm standing right behind him. He has no idea I'm in the room. He has no idea I'm behind him. And I realize also at that moment I can't get out because I need a key card to get back out of that room. And so I'm like, now I basically have to ask him, can you let me out of this room? So I very calmly, and he's looking at a magazine at this point, just facing the elevator, and I'm like, can you get me screams. He didn't drop anything.
Oh.
I'm sure Dan has a much more masculine scream. Kind of like that. Possibly. Are you getting tired of Mr. Scream?
I am not.
Alright, good. Michael gave it a ho-hum. But boom! 45 minutes in, we have a top 7 to talk about.
Shit.
It seems like longer.
The top 7 of the week.
Top 7 games we want announced in 2009.
Yes. The top 7 games we want announced in 2009. We did this for, I did this for E3 last year, the games we wanted announced at E3, and I thought, well, might as well.
How many did you get there?
There were 7. It was the top 7.
No, how many did you get? How many did you actually get announced?
2 of them have appeared. Punch-Out for Wii, and another one I can't recall off the top of my head. But neither one of them were announced at E3. They both just ended up showing up later.
I don't remember much being announced at E3.
It was a horrible time. Don't listen to Podcast 10 if you're curious.
Yeah. You might be forgetting Wii Music.
I will never forget Wii Music.
Everybody forgets
or
that they
the
announced
Lost
that,
Planet movie
2 years ago. The Lost Planet movie is in.
I guess that wasn't an announcement.
Everybody.
Yeah, that wasn't really an announcement, I guess, but it was probably the worst press event I've ever sat in on.
It was. It was a bunch of who's who's, like Avi Arad, like Marvel guy, David Hayter, voice of Solid Snake, all the Capcom guys standing at a table. I'm like, oh, what are they going to say? Guys, we can really make this movie.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah. This is a great game with great characters, and it's going to be a great movie. Yeah, I also think
we brought a trailer of the game that we released 2 years ago to show you guys. Really?
Yes, we reviewed that. Anyway,
and here's some concept art from that game that will probably be used in the movie somehow.
Yes,
or on the DVD extras.
Don't look forward to this movie in 2 years.
Assuming Solid Snake can write worth of shit.
Worth of shit. He wrote
I'm not giving the guy shit. I love the first 2 X-Men movies.
Yeah, they were good. Anyway, the number 7 entry on this games we want announced in 2009, Call of Duty Future Warfare.
the most controversial entry as well.
It is the most controversial one because I have a huge raging erection for the future and science fiction. Yep. And despite I'm not like, I know it's cliche at this. Not only are World War II games cliche, it's cliche to bag on them for being World War II games at this point. Like hating on them, it's almost come full circle where it's like, you know what I like? A World War II game.
That's where I was. Like, it's been long enough for me. I'm cool. I'll pick it up again.
Yeah, like I hadn't played one since Medal of Honor Rising Sun, which was 2004. So whatever. But I'd like Infinity Ward to, which I realize this is also the least likely thing to be announced because Infinity Ward has a game coming out this year. They're sure as hell not going to announce another one. But what I would like them to do is take clearly what they did with Call of Duty 4. Great way to get your character involved in the story. Huge set pieces, big events happening, and set it all in a time frame that they can make up their own story, make up their own perks, make up their own weapons, and like free it from any constraints they ever had, and let them be as creative as they want. Same gameplay, no fucking aliens. I never said aliens. All the comments, if you turn into, it's just gonna be Halo, and who wants aliens? Like, what? Who said?
Apparently millions of people, but anyway.
Yeah, it's like
Actually, they said Gala.
they said Galo.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, well, first of all, I'm not that big of a Halo fan, so I don't want it to be Halo. I want it to be completely serious with a story that makes perfect sense, like Call of Duty 4 did.
Yes.
You don't want to say it hundreds of years in the future. You want it like 100 years or 50 years.
I said something like 200, I think, but the point is, like, example, Firefly, that's in the future. No aliens in Firefly.
And not even any lasers in Firefly.
No, it's
but there's still spaceships and warp drives, and that's cool.
No, it's like, just do that. And the main thing that inspired me for is when I watched the Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones. Awful movie.
It's taken me a while to find my boo sound effect. There we go, Clone Wars movie.
My favorite part of that movie is an 8-second clip that I took some screen grabs of, where it's just this huge dust cloud gets thrown up from something crashing into the sand, and the clone troopers and the robots are all shooting each other, and it's just laser bolts flying everywhere, blaster bolts, and the colors are flying everywhere. It just looks amazing. It's completely hectic, and I just thought, well, what if you couldn't see? You can't see the bullets being fired at you, and that's kind of scary in Call of Duty because you're like, shit. But I thought, change of pace. What if I could see
trails?
Yeah, what if I could see every single thing that was coming, and I realized just how cluttered that battlefield is. And no, every weapon doesn't have to be a laser, but it's just a nice change of pace. We don't have. Do we have? I mean, is there a serious sci-fi shooter like in the future that's like Call of Duty 4 caliber? Because I really can't think of anything.
Well, I mean, you would
space...
consider Call of Duty 3 Call of Duty 4 caliber.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, as good as like.
Oh no, there's no other than Halo. I don't think there's any like even.
But see, I think COD 4 is way better than Halo, even just as a shooter.
I'm just saying, it's like even an A or B first person shooter, or I don't think there's a sci-fi futuristic.
There's probably something.
At the risk of reopening old wounds, Killzone 2 is about as close to a sci-fi COD 4 as there is right now.
Widely quoted in complete context on NeoGAF. I hate the PS3.
Yes,
I wear panties, and I have taken a lot of money from Microsoft, and
and you have sex with your mother.
Yeah, the biggest. Yeah, I did think of throwing Killzone in there, but having not played it yet, I don't know that it fits exactly what I want.
The fact that you haven't played it yet is clear evidence of your bias.
Well, considering I didn't take part in the article in question because I had not played it.
No, if you were a true PS3 fan, you'd have played it by now. You'd have found a way.
I know. Let's please everyone who hasn't played it. Offer your comments and criticisms to people. Who beat.
What are the idiots? This game is off. This game that I haven't played is awesome. How dare they level any criticisms at it after finishing?
All right. Let's not get drugged back into that.
Right. You're right.
I haven't been on the podcast in a while, and I think Killzone 2 is the best game of this year and next year. The PS3, I own 3 of them. And Giant Bomb's review of Mortal Kombat was excellent and very accurate.
And Gabriel Knight is not the best game.
No, well, it's close.
No, I thought we were being sarcastic.
No, I was being truthful.
Oh. And that was our opinion on Killzone 2. Now going back to the top 7, where this I love because I agree, and yes.
Number 6 was Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Long story short. Yes, I know Sonic and Knuckles happened, and Sonic Rush was good, which I did point out in the text.
Feels like so long ago, though.
Yeah, what, Sonic Rush?
Mm-hmm.
It was fall of '05. It's been almost...
I know, but DS games are never, ever discounted, and Sonic Rush is.
Mm.
And they would say it's a good game.
Yeah, it's very good. Sonic Rush Adventure, not so much.
No.
But, again, the point here is Capcom...
Sonic Rush Adventure. Because it's like Sonic Rush, speed, Sonic platforming, exactly what I wanted. Well, the next game
Let's
has
ruin
a
it.
slow jet ski.
It's a slow jet ski.
Thank you.
Doesn't that sound good? And we brought all his friends back. And you fight a pirate guy or something. It's just off.
And if you're really lucky, next we'll put Sonic on a hoverboard, which he should never be on.
Maybe that's...
He's already been.
Yeah,
I know. That's what I'm referring to.
2 games.
Oh,
he's on a
right.
hoverboard. Anyway, before we go completely off course about Sonic's shitty games,
Hey.
Sonic 4. Just
Sonic
the idea
matter.
of take the Mega Man 9 route, a 16-bit like Sega Genesis / Mega Drive if you're in the UK.
I just hope they get this. I don't think they'll get the message.
And yeah, just make one that, like go all out with it. Like, take the series back to like Sonic 2 level.
Yeah, like all that shit you were gonna put in Sonic 2 and 3, and like, no, that's way too out there. We'll never have time to do that. Do it now.
Yeah, do it now. Make some really cool levels. Get the music back up to par.
Yeah.
Like, just... It worked with Mega Man 9.
Apparently the same people are still there on Sonic Team.
I mean, if you want to build up a bunch of goodwill with people... I mean, I know the Sonic games still sell, and they don't probably have a reason to really do this. This kind of thing can't be that expensive to produce. I mean, I'm sure it will cost more than we think it would, but... I mean, you want to curry favor with people who routinely bash the games. The enthusiast press, us, IGN, 1UP, none of them have any positive things to say about this series now.
I think it's starting to look to me like they're just really bored of the old formula, and they've been bored for years. They were probably bored when they started on Sonic Adventure, and all this has been trying to work within the framework they established in the first few games, but they're trying to branch out and make different kinds of games, but it just doesn't mesh at all, and it's not what the fans want, and so it ends up sucking.
Yeah.
I don't believe that at all, and I was only going to point that out because no one in the world likes Big the Cat. He's always the butt of every joke.
Obviously, the developers like Big the Cat.
Because I don't think they're listening at all. I think they're too busy because they're making one Sonic game every year. I don't think anybody's paying attention. I don't think they've read the 3 or 4 articles now that we've mentioned remaking Sonic 4 as a retro title. I don't think they have any clue.
And who do you think what do you think the youngest fan of, or the youngest fan of the old Sonic style is? Like, lots of people have grown up with this new crappy Sonic.
That's a good question, but if they didn't think that kind of game was worthwhile, then they wouldn't be releasing yet another Sonic collection.
You could liken it to our philosophy, which is, what do we care what a few niche people think? It's really successful. I mean, the Sonic games continue to sell no matter how shitty they are.
Do we know how Mega Man 9 did, like, commercially?
I don't.
Pretty damn good. I
thought it did pretty. I mean, I don't have any numbers, but I thought it. My impression from the people I've talked to at Capcom was that it did quite well.
Yeah, most Xbox Live games, I think they're going to do about as good as they'll ever the first week. I mean, that could be true for all games anyway.
I know HD Remix had a very strong first couple of weeks, but is like staying. Like, the numbers have slowed, but they're consistent. They haven't just totally dropped off. So I'm guessing Mega Man 9 maybe had that kind of reach. Yeah. It was also released on all 3 platforms, so odds are it, made up for the lack of, Mega Man 9 was on all 3. Street Fighter 2 was on just the 2 HD systems.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I want a 16-bit Sonic.
You know what? I'll settle for a 17-bit Sonic if you have to throw new shit in there. 17
well, just their whole argument, we couldn't make a game just about going fast because that would be miles of game we'd have to design. Well, then make a Genesis one. Remember the part that made you guys famous? Why don't you try that again? Just try.
Remember that game that saved your otherwise pretty awful system? Yeah, I said it, NeoGaf. The Genesis is awful. Come and get me. Okay, number 5.
Says the guy who volunteered to write all the Sega content for an upcoming issue.
Sega. I have a lot less fond recollections whenever I replay something. Less love than when I play old NES stuff.
Like when you replay, was it Joe Montana football?
Just everything in that game just reminds me of
Say rise from your grave.
Why from?
There's a YouTube clip of Joe Montana sports talk football, and it's just funny how many times the announcer says, "I can't believe it." He says it like 8 times.
Joe Montana sports talk football was the full title.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome to Joe Montana Sports Talk Football.
Okay, we got it, Joe.
I love the Genesis. What did it say? It always, if someone was talking, it sounded like a man with no teeth screaming in a trash can from about 50 feet away. Love the Genesis.
Well, it sounds like he's having his throat assaulted with a rusty can. Just
Like this is how the Big Daddies would sound if you took their helmets off.
Takes it to the 10, 20.
Oh my God.
At the 22, a 14-yard return.
wait. I want to hear I can't believe it.
A beauty.
Marriage.
The kicking team comes on. It's first down. I can't believe it.
He can't believe it's
Can't
first
believe
down.
the team.
God, it's like listening to a talking guitar.
It is. It's like Peter Frampton.
Frampton.
All right. What the hell were we talking about?
The Genesis for
Okay.
which is a fine system.
Number
5.
Nice, that
Number
sounded just
5.
like a Genesis.
Like
Number 5 is Ken Levine's.
Ken Levine's next
Ken Levine's.
next project, and this is kind of an homage to the feature I wrote in July. Remember? No.
Oh.
I said I wanted to see what Team Ico's next project was going to be, which that still has not been revealed. And so this time I wanted to pick another developer and be like, well, what are they doing next? In this case, Ken Levine, Mr. BioShock. We know he's doing something else. He said they're going to, quote, swing for the fences, that it's going to be pretty different, very ambitious, but it's not BioShock. And after seeing what he did with that and just his pedigree in general, I really want to know what it is. That's kind of it. Anything else, Mr. Silence?
No, I have not played System Shock 2. I did get it for Christmas.
Along with?
Oh.
Along with
Conan?
Gabby Knight. Yeah. I got Gabby Knight and but yeah, BioShock. Yeah, come on. Why wouldn't you want to be interested? And they didn't wrestle that series away from him, but that's not going to be his thing anymore. It's going to be completely different. I'd say driven to the ground within the next 2 years.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, because 2K, I mean, like, Elder Scrolls has been very profitable, Oblivion, and 2K, despite that, has not just completely ravaged it and put out a new Elder Scrolls something every year, even though it was a huge success.
Well, they haven't wrested the game away from Bethesda either.
No, but I mean, something makes money, it's very easy for the publisher to be like, you want to make some more money? We'll distribute it for you.
Yeah, because I was just started playing The Darkness, and it's pretty cool, and they've said that wasn't that game semi-successful, and
Kinda. I don't think it was a breakout hit or anything.
you don't think that we're working on
I mean,
sequel.
I haven't looked at the... Oh, okay. Cool.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's just, I mean, there's not really anything to say because there's nothing to go on. He just says, the goal will be very, very different. It's a little scary because we don't know what it is.
That's the same thing I was going to say about my game. I haven't brought out yet.
I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be cool.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the next Ponies game.
It's going to be the next Ponies game.
The next Bratz Ponies game.
Ponies.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
And then moving on to number 4 is Tatsunoko vs. Capcom!
Oh my god.
Man, I said it so hard it knocked Michael's pen off his desk.
It did.
Which I have played.
Wait, so it already
You
exists.
played with my pen?
It's already been announced.
This is a weird one because I wanted to have at least one game that is out in Japan and is badass and for all intents and purposes is never coming out here, and we really want to see some kind of... The reason it can't is the Versus series, Marvel vs. Capcom. Capcom had the rights with Marvel. They made a series of excellent-ass fighting games from X-Men, Children of the Atom, all the way to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Marvel decided they were worth more than that, or whatever happened, I don't know. That ended. And Marvel
they can strip down and sell their menagerie of, I don't know, tights-wearing shitheads piece by piece.
Yeah.
And it just makes more sense for them.
Yeah. But I mean, they could grant a Umbrella license. Like,
Imagine they could.
You could use like 10 of our characters in this fighting
Especially
game.
because this is an existing brand.
Yeah.
It's not worth abandoning.
The Versus series means something to people.
Yeah.
And given how successful like HD Remix and the buzz around Street Fighter 4, it'd be really surprising if Tatsunoko versus Capcom didn't come out over here. Problem being, Tatsunoko in Japan is like the owner of a crap ton of classic manga and anime characters. Battle of the Planets being
That's, by the way, I played it. That's the only one I even slightly recognize.
I don't recognize anybody because most of them are from the fucking 70s.
Yeah. Is that the case?
Yeah, a lot of them are characters that haven't been active, as far as I know, since the 70s, maybe 80s, or have only recently had like some kind of like retro remake. I don't really know.
It makes that really weird. Like if they did Capcom versus Sid and Marty Krofft or something over here. Zangief versus
I would love to see that.
Me too.
Just Capcom versus Captain Kangaroo.
Capcom versus Jellico and just all these shitty stuff. Yeah. Goodbye, Jellico. You might be missed.
Let me think about it. No, I miss Data East more.
Yeah, it's Sunsoft, even though they still exist.
In a animated corpse-like state.
We're gonna do that article. We're gonna figure out what happened to all these people in one feature.
But yeah, the problem with Tatsunoko in the U.S. is all these rights to these different properties, if they exist in the U.S., are almost all handled by different people. Like Battle of the Planets is what Ted Turner has that.
Yeah.
Last we know, Capcom obviously has like Ryu from Street Fighter, Beautiful Joe, the mech from Lost Planet, Chun-Li I think is in it, Darkstalkers characters, a lot.
They're probably syndicated out the ass to a billion different people, and that's like, I swear to God, I didn't recognize anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much of a chance of people picking it up.
No.
On being Tatsunoko, it'd be just another Street Fighter game.
Well, what Seth Killian said on TalkRadar 17 was that there's no reason they can't take Gotcha Man, color him green, call him Hero Man, and then just make a new game.
True.
The exact same game, just swap the colors out.
But I also thought the roster of like iconic Capcom characters was a little light.
A little light.
I'm just gonna go ahead and cut off any angry anime fans here. Yes, we know it's Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. That Gatchaman is not a character. Moving on.
What's the guy? Who's the guy? Hawkman? What's his name? Hawkface? I don't know.
Sam the Eagle. Sam the Eagle.
Sam the Eagle. There it is.
Yeah, something the bird. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, they're all named something the bird type.
That's just.
I think his name is Ed the Japanese Bird.
Yeah. That's just one of those shows
I last read about this when I was in junior high. Give me a break.
Yeah, it's one of those shows I didn't get into, and then one of my like friends' older brothers had the DVDs in college, and we all were like, "Your show's stupid. Your memories are dumb." And which is easily what people could say about all of our NES memories. So I understand, but that's
your nostalgia's for dipshits.
Yeah. Number 3 is Red Dead Revolver 2.
Oh, that is a good one.
Which I was like, I wanted to put on here because I loved the first one, and I'm like, really? Can I get away with putting this on a list? But
you should.
But I really enjoyed the first one. It's been so long. It's been almost 5 years since I played that, so I was kind of busy because it was 2004 when it came out. But it's also been one of these like constantly teased and prodded franchises. Rockstar showed it like Wild West Project a few years ago, and then showed a logo at last year's E3, but has so far said nothing. And when I was writing this, I realized there's like no Wild West games at all. Gun was the last one.
Every one they've come out with, Call of Juarez, which they have announced a sequel to. But I really like that game, even though it's not great. It's not great. You play a character running away from the law, and then you play the very next level is the guy chasing that character. So you run through the same level twice.
Oh, cheap.
Again, $8. But it's a little different because the other characters mess stuff up, and you take different routes.
You have a Bible as a weapon, don't you?
You have a Bible. You can convert. You can distract people with the power of the good word, and pull out your Bible, pull down the trigger.
Speaking of a convert button, that was the only noteworthy part of the Transformers movie game was the button to transform from robot to car in the Transformers game.
Yes.
Said convert.
No, converters were a shitty knockoff from the 80s.
Which is like, it's just like, okay, someone better have been fired for that.
And then hit the GoBot analog stick.
Yeah. There's the one thing they do, which is transform. It's called Transformers. You transform by hitting the convert button. What the? God damn it!
I don't know where you segued into that, but I would love to see a Red Dead Revolver sequel.
I would too. Well, I mean, like, who else played it? Michael, can you elaborate on it? It was just, to me, it was like, it was an eccentric take on Wild West. It was really, it wasn't over the top bloody, but it was pretty violent.
That's okay, because those movies are bloody.
Yeah, they were.
The thing I liked about it the most was that it's like, there hadn't really been a really faithful sort of just transition to like these old spaghetti western movies, like Fistful of Dollars, the things Clint Eastwood was in,
right.
And I think Red Dead Revolver did it exceptionally well. It wasn't a perfect game; it got a lot of bad reviews, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I
thought it was fun. I thought the reviews
different
were kind
perspectives.
Reviews were a little unfair at the time, but
How did it compare to Gun?
Gun was a much better game. But
really?
I think so. Red Dead Revolver was much more straightforward. It was more of a shooter.
That's why.
But I did like little things like, what is it? In one stage, you fight a couple of guys who are named Ennio and Sergio, which is reference to Ennio Morricone and Sergio Leone.
Yeah,
Morricone or Morricone?
It was reviewed pretty favorably, actually.
How did it compare?
A Metacritic average of 74, which is
one?
A little above average.
Not great, but not bad.
A Revolver?
Red Dead Revolver, yeah.
Yeah. It just seemed like it was getting I don't know, maybe the reviews read negative or something, I don't know. I just remember it being like, I really liked it, went on to read the reviews because I never base purchase decisions off of reviews. I usually read the reviews after I've already bought something, just to be like, what did everyone else think? And they were all like, meh.
Gunsport has scored on average about 3 points higher.
But another reason I wanted to see this is because Gun was like a launch Xbox 360 title that Activision kind of crapped out. It took advantage of nothing. Mm-hmm. And what I would love to see, like an old West town properly done in HD with like blowing sand through the town, and like as funny as it is, the fact that somebody would have to be delegated. You're the tumbleweed guy,
as a Rockstar game, if possibly in an engine they may own.
Yeah,
Jesus, like the people in my opinion who are the best with westernized storytelling.
Yeah,
grabbing hold of a next-gen Western game. I couldn't be more excited about the prospect.
I wonder if the reason they've built this engine that can handle the entire huge Liberty City teeming with detail, it might seem like a bit of a waste to then have it be a big empty plain.
The thing is, it looks empty, but you can still do stuff with caves and wood.
You could pump water.
Yeah.
You could beat a dead horse. Moving on
to number 2. You could beat a dead horse. Number 2 is Metroid DS, because I cannot. I'm without words as to why there's not been a 2D Metroid since 2000.
Yeah, why have there been 3 Castlevanias for the DS? And the only Metroid titles are Metroid Pinball, Metroid Hunters,
which is 3D and quite good in my opinion.
Is it because Konami won't stoop to pet shampooing games?
And Nintendo will? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Nintendogs? I don't see Castle Dogs.
I haven't seen any Nintendo sequels.
Castlevania pets. You can raise a bat.
You can raise a bat. Or maybe a vampire wolf. Why did I trail off?
I don't know.
I figured that was on purpose.
That was me becoming unsure of my joke.
Losing confidence right at the end.
But yeah, Metroid Prime Hunters was a very early DS game. It was March of 2006. Actually, the first review I think I wrote for the site that was new, that wasn't pre-written when the site launched. Metroid Prime Hunters was the first big thing I did for Games Radar. I have no idea how that review reads now. Probably like crap. I don't know. I need to reread it. But amazing technical achievement. But it was still 3D. It was a Prime game. The Prime series, as much as I love it and what it did, I'm really ready to be done with it. I'm ready for another take on Metroid. And before we go to the next 3D one, I want another 2D, back to the roots, really gorgeous 2D game. They can't even be like New Super Mario Brothers style with polygons and stuff like that if they want. But look
Wario
at
Land Shake It style?
Wario Land Shake It style would be really cool. Make it a WiiWare game. I don't care. You could, look at what, like we just said, the Castlevania games. They've made 6 Castlevania games for Nintendo platforms. Nintendo handles 3 for GBA, 3 for DS. All 6 of them are good. I think 4 of them are actually excellent, are outstanding games, and they are all copying Metroid. Why can't we get Nintendo to do that?
And you want to hear another secret? I would buy up to 3 Metroid remakes a year. Yeah. Do
Even
not
if they were
tell.
just remaking the same game.
Even if they were it was a straight port of the old game. I
Well,
would buy.
well, that's the thing is I don't want another straight port because.
Shh, that's why I said don't. We cannot let Nintendo know this.
Oh, right.
I completely would.
In this version, Samus's bikini is green.
Ooh, and it's cold.
And she's a man.
Oh, I just happen to have $39.99 on me.
And in this version, she has a beard, but is still a woman.
You have 4 camel toes.
Would that be camel toes or camel's toe?
It would be a camel foot.
Camel, that would constitute a whole foot.
It would be a moose knuckle.
And it's also
Metroid Zero Camel Foot Edition.
camel foot.
to wrap up Metroid. The fact that Prime 3 ended with a very clear the ending. Slight spoiler.
What do you mean Prime 3?
I want to hear what the ending was.
Prime 3. The ending. Well, every Metroid ending, she takes off her armor, and then it shows her fly off into space, but another ship pulls up in the foreground, and then zooms out into space, chasing her. But the ship doesn't look familiar to me. It doesn't look like any of the hunters from Metroid Prime Hunters. It's just very clearly somebody's chasing her. So where's the game that talks about that? Maybe that could be this. Or, that's all, Chris. You're safe.
Okay.
What's funny is you heard that. You heard me say it's safe to listen. I heard my name.
I heard my name.
The thing is, Metroid Fusion really changed the game for Samus because it infected her with X-Parasite, changed the way you play the game a little bit.
I thought they never really went... Not every game is released in continuity, right?
No, Fusion is right now for GBA the most chronologically recent one. It's the furthest along, and it actually has the most. Samus actually speaks a lot, and there's a little bit of character development. She's actually talking to people. Something very drastic happens to her, and it's I'd really like to follow that story. You have the one serious Nintendo franchise that's not kind of kiddie or goofy or silly or fantasy. It's hard sci-fi. Hard fucking sci-fi is Metroid. And do something with it. Anything.
There is your space sci-fi shooter. Great multiplayer on Metroid
Oh, I
Prime.
already said I wanted it to become a survival horror where,
I was going to say they already did a next-gen Metroid. It was called Dead Space.
Oh,
yeah, basically, yeah, it really did.
Number
7?
1.
All right, number 1 is...
Number 1.
Okay. Final Fantasy VII DS. Really want to see this happen because 4, which came out last year, to me proves this system is capable of such a thing. The cutscenes are in there. The character models look better than Final Fantasy VII, in my opinion. There's no reason to think they can't cram all that data of 3 CDs onto one really dense DS card. It might be a $50 DS game. I don't know.
He sounds convinced.
$50 games don't bother me so much. It's
a DS game.
Paying $60.
It's a DS. Yeah, the thing is, we're kind of used to playing.
Weird though.
Well, Final Fantasy IV was $40 already. I mean,
yeah.
Memory is pretty cheap now. I assume they could just increase the density of that card. The point is, 1997, Final Fantasy VII looks really bad. To me, it's so bad it prevents me from playing it again.
As a modern gamer, I could not sit through it. It did not feel like the revelatory, whatever you thought it was, to me playing in the late aughts.
Yeah, the late aughts. I mean, I went through it when it came out. I put 80 hours into it, did everything I could with it, and loved it. But then I moved on, and I would like to play it again, but the combination of I have to find my memory card with the save, I have to make sure my PS3 will actually play the damn thing, and even though it says it can, we'll see. Above everything else, this just seems like the joke has made a lot of license to print money.
Mm-hmm.
This is Squaresoft's ticket to 10 years of financial freedom to just do whatever the hell they want.
That it is.
It's the biggest selling system of the day, the most popular version of the most popular RPG series in history. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to sell 1 million copies.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. Oh, it's kind of ruining our job. Now we have to write. It's like going back in time for us, having to write about games we read about. The people who are the age we were when we read about the games.
Yeah, they're remaking so many games that we read about as teenagers. Now we have to write about them to teenagers reading. It's just it's this weird circle of life thing going on, and it's kind of makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's also really hard to keep mustering up genuine enthusiasm for Final Fantasy VII. But it is a good game. The battle system is great. The story as stupid as it is, I thought is a fun story to go through. Just seems
when
like
that chick died. That was hilarious. Anybody who has ever feelings over that is pardon my French, a softie.
Well, no, the thing you said about what was the comment you made about
said that Aerith died, yet appeared in Final Fantasy Tactics, about 15 other games. So why was her death important?
Yeah, like
it's too soon.
It's always held up as this meaningful. Oh my God, Aerith, she was so pure. It's like, yeah, but she showed up like 7 other times.
You've seen her 1,000 times. There's not anything that relates to 7 that she's not in.
And besides that, I mean, it was a significant event in gaming, but I mean, the gaming's grown up since then. Okay, yeah. Aerith was a one-dimensional character. We'd never seen anything like that before. We'd kind of gotten attached to her. Okay, yeah, it was really sad when she died. But I mean, it was just because games hadn't done anything like that yet. And since then, I think the medium's come so far that it's not. It doesn't have anywhere near the same emotional impact. It's just, oh look, a chick made out of triangles got stabbed by another chick made out of triangles.
Sweet. The star of the Dire Straits video got hurt somehow. Fantastic.
And old people reference. Yay! Go watch your Dire Straits videos on YouTube.
Or UHF. It's a worthy parody. All right, we're gonna get. Speaking of old people, our boss Eric Brancher gave us this. It's been stuck in my head all day. What is it? Woodbox
Gang.
The Woodbox Gang, an Illinois band that Brett, Eric, and Charlie are extremely familiar with. I think Charlie, you said they were like your favorite group.
Maybe. Did you?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them, but yes.
I just thought it was odd that you and Eric had both heard them, and they do.
They're big in the area where we went to college, so it was strange to hear you bring them up today.
And that they're still around, but they have this funny little game-based song. And I know it's not typically what we play, but it's been stuck in my head all day.
Very good.
And then after that, I want to play that Mega 64 clip about a certain event that just went down in gaming history. But then after that, we got new releases, a couple news stories, game deals, and a community segment, Brett, I'm sure.
Community segment, and I would like to. I have some really awful songs I would like to poke through. They're really bad.
And before I go, I completely forgot to mention this in the beginning. Friends of TalkRadar, fans of TalkRadar, have started up their own podcast. So if you go to mypodcast.com and search for Fan Radar, you'll get a brand new podcast from the listeners of the people who brought you TalkRadar. If that makes any sense. But
which listeners?
Which is like saying from 2 of the 6 writers of Scary Movie.
It's like it's a way of tying a national treasure to Indiana Jones from the people who watch.
No, it's from 2 of the 6 writers who saw Scary Movie.
Oh God, it is that. Damn it! I just made a Scary Movie joke.
Shit!
Go watch Tourette's Guy, everyone. If you
hey, that's a serious illness.
It is, because it's always hilarious whenever I see it in any form.
Time to get moving.
Community segment coming up. Listen to Fan Radar. One of these people you're listening to right now makes a guest appearance. I'll never tell who.
I've been watching the news to see what new excuse half of young people commit violent acts. Now they've hit on the truth because of all the meanness in the youth. And the devil's a liar, couldn't even argue the facts. I got a friend who's such a shame. He spends his time with the video games, staring at colored glass all day. And the bland thoughts in his brain, the poor boy's gone half insane. And I aim to make the perpetrators pay. He spits fire, and he eats the flowers. He kicks the turtles, and he stomps mushrooms. I am gonna sue Mario and his brother Luigi. I will make those bastards pay for what they've done. My blood curdles when I think of those poor turtles and mushrooms who never grew into hallucinogens. His room is like a shrine to his partners in crime. And some strategy books pile up like the Babylon Tower. And he swears on the blood of King Cooper he'll destroy all those doggone Goombas. His mind's so strung out on that flower power. And he spits fire, and he eats the flowers. He kicks the turtles, and he stomps mushrooms. I am gonna sue Mario and his brother Luigi. I will make those bastards pay for what they've done. My blood curdles when I think of those poor turtles and the mushrooms that never grew into hallucinogens. There's all kinds of video games that are leading this world to shame, and I, for one, I'm not gonna take it. Well, I got a friend who thinks he's Cubert and one who's gone wild over Frogger, and there's one he'll only play Miss Pac-Man naked. But I'm mostly concerned about that Italian plumber, his princess and his good-for-nothing brother. Their existence in this world is a disease. Oh, but will I do anything about it? I doubt it. I guess we don't need another war with the Japanese. But I tell you, he spits fire, and he eats the flowers. He kicks the turtles, and he stomps mushrooms. I am gonna sue Mario and his brother Luigi. I will make those bastards pay for what they've done. My blood curdles when I think of those poor turtles and the mushrooms that never grew into hallucinogens.
The iTunes reviews are in.
Twishart says,
a wonderfully pungent gaming cluster shard.
Kyrian BC says,
spawned from the heavens, absolute brilliance on so many levels.
Melzul says,
pants-crappingly hilarious.
And Game Dad says,
the constant belching and F-bombs make the podcast feel immature.
Get over here!
TalkRadar for the win.
How's it going?
Hi. Did you post the ad on Craigslist about the dog?
Oh yeah, come on back. Alright, here she is.
Oh, look at this beast.
Yeah, she's great.
Wow. And look at this collar. This is really
Oh yeah,
nice.
the collar and the leash go with her.
The leash
so,
too? Oh,
yeah,
I like that
the
a
whole
lot.
package.
I like that a lot. Okay. You know what? I want this. I want the whole package.
Okay, well, it was $100 is what I posted.
$100.
So.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. I let myself in. Banks were closed, so I had to write you a check. You know, I could have done that from the beginning, save myself 2 hours. There you go, and that makes it official, right? I mean,
yeah.
I'm the official owner?
Yeah, she's all yours, man.
All mine, alright. Oh, what a beautiful hound. Come here, doggy. Just stay right here, my precious. It's gonna be okay.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was losing money with that dog, you know. It wasn't bringing in the profits I was hoping it would.
You killed the dog? Why would you do something like that?
Don't worry about it, because you got your cash, and I got a collar, so business transaction complete.
But I love that dog. Why'd you have to kill it? I thought you were going to give it a good home.
Yeah, you know, I really wanted the collar and the leash. I mean, they were great, and I figured getting the whole package is just cheaper. But, you know, don't worry about it. It's my dog now. I'll do whatever I want. I mean, I know you loved it. It's going to be the same dog it was before.
No, it's literally not the same dog. You killed it.
I know this was a shock to you because you were expecting your dog... Hold on. Hello? Yeah, I did. I just blew its head off. No, check out my website tonight. I'll post pictures about it. Okay, later. Look, I'm getting more publicity now about this dog than I ever did before. Now that this thing is dead, people are going to be coming to my website left and right.
Did you really have to fire them? All those bullets from the gun?
I'm obsessed with money. And if I'm not making the amounts of money that I want to make, I'll put that magazine out of publication. I mean, I'll kill the dog.
Yeah, but you could have kept it around. You didn't have to kill it. You could have, maybe taught it to make some money. Maybe it could have made you a lot of money someday. You don't know.
Nobody wants to see me whip some dog into shape.
That's not true. So many people cared about this dog, okay? I was about to have a 20th anniversary party for it because it was turning 20 years old. And it was going to be Street Fighter 4 themed. Street Fighter 4 is hot right now, man. People aren't interested in that. That's bullshit. That's totally not true, okay? And even if you were gonna kill it, couldn't wait till after the party? After the party would be a good send out for the dog, 20 years old, and out on a bang. But no, you gotta kill it before. You can't give it the respect that this dog deserved, and everyone who worked so hard to take care of this dog deserved. People spent their lives with this dog, and you just killed it and didn't give it a proper send off. You're an asshole.
Look, I told you this dog wasn't making me enough money. You're still talking reckless. So f*** that. I'm leaving. Visit my website and kiss my ass, because I don't care if you don't like it.
You killed my dog and you don't even know his name.
What was his name?
His name was Evan Grant Mondesanto. And you killed him.
Well, my name is Hugo Dotcom. So now you know who f***ed you.
Well, I want you to know who was f***ed. Ulysses Prance. The first.
Take a look at this.
Listen to Fan Radar.
But it shows you how to do like everything, so there's no point playing the fucking game.
If you can actually do that, I think you deserve to play as the boss character.
I don't know. I thought it was weird just because he wore that to work on Halloween.
Who's the guy in the black that looks like a dick?
How hard was she bowling?
Exactly.
With special guest, Chris Antista.
I couldn't be more mad about PS3 fanboys right now, so I'm just going to say Smash Brothers. No, I'll say Smash Brothers Melee just to really piss them off.
Fan Radar Episode 1, now available.
Hey, does anybody want to listen to the rest of this motherfucking podcast?
Yeah!
We like the podcast. We like the podcast. Well, no?
Oh my god.
No? No?
Thanks for putting that song in my head, asshole.
Yeah!
As a proud owner of that CD.
Yeah!
Not as funny as them individually.
Alright.
I love the fuming angry one. It sounds like he's rubbing himself down with oil.
I hate to repeat ourselves, so there'll be no Macho Man really in this podcast, and there'll be no Macho Man in this podcast, unfortunately, except obviously the clips from last week were hysterical. Everybody seemed to like them. I made a modification to an old sound. Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man Randy Savage vomiting.
It's appropriate. I wish I knew, like, it's the kind of thing I wish, like, our boss's boss would come around. Right now, what's everyone doing? and he sees just a timeline. What are you editing? I'm really busy. And just like I'm like, well, I'm writing a story about the upcoming Wii games, and Eric, so I'm emailing Capcom about this interview, and you're, well, I'm splicing together a Randy Savage vomiting sound effect.
An ancient wrestler beef jerky hawker vomiting. Oh god, you're right.
I think the listener should know that when you're doing this, you're not like, if I imagine you just having fun and laughing, but you're just over there completely serious, sweating with the effort and the intensity of it all. Get your glasses on.
I go over there and I'm like, hey, Chris, and like, no, fuck off! I can't talk right now. Holy shit!
It could easily be montage as I wipe the sweat from my brow. Ugh. Fine, killed it. More podcast.
Not interested.
More podcast.
So we got new releases. What are we doing?
Barely. These should not even count as new releases. Star Ocean Second Evolution. Which Star Ocean.
Which Carolyn reviewed.
For us?
What did she give it?
Yes, she did. I believe she's giving it a 7.
Wow.
Really?
I don't take any issue with anything but the title, because the second evolution technically is part of the first evolution.
That's a joke, I guess, right?
All right, yeah. Hey, what did you want me to do? Read the review?
I'm sure high school science.
It's a remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story. It was one of my favorite PS1 era RPGs.
Really?
Yes.
Right.
Really?
Really?
Wow. It had barrels in it.
It had lots of barrels in it.
And talking about barrels.
Yeah. Ashton Anchors was a pimp, man.
Jeez.
I love it when you... 0.3 of our listeners know what I'm talking about.
I love it when you hear a sentence that you'll never hear strung together in that combination ever again.
Michael could do it again right now.
No, I couldn't.
No,
it's gone.
a one-time only thing.
I don't even remember what it was.
Speaking of stuff Carolyn's reviewing, Artanelico 2, Melody of Metapocalypse?
I don't...
Metafalico.
Hang on a second, real quick. 1UP has a review for Star Ocean Second Evolution.
I thought we did too.
Despite not having...
There's 6 people.
No, I know, but it's by Shane Bettenhausen.
Well, I think a lot of... I noticed that Nick Sutner had something on there, too. I think probably they were filed before...
right, they're just canned stuff.
It's like when you get a voicemail from somebody that's dead.
Yeah. Or, I don't know, maybe they're being paid freelance.
Can we please put that in?
I think that's fine. No, I was just... Yeah, I was like, wait, 1UP? Like, I was... It just shocked me. Like, I was completely not prepared to see 1UP on there anymore, and there they were. For a second, I was like, oh, they are going to do reviews. Oh, no.
From what I heard, if anybody out there is a fan of their podcast, I heard a couple people are coming back to do podcasts with them. I don't know if that's in a paid capacity.
Also, at least one of their editors appreciated the feature that we wrote honoring them.
It's true.
Yeah, we got some feedback from Milkman, long-standing EGM fellow who saw our EGM
final editor-in-chief.
Yeah, of EIC of EGM. He saw our EGM piece we put up.
I didn't think about that, but I've been reading that guy for years. I've always kind of and that was kind of an honor. I've never met him or seen him in person, so.
I interviewed with him once.
I know that he got married in Final Fantasy XI. I know that.
Wow.
Does that even count?
Oh yeah, he was like the biggest fanboy of that game for years. Yeah. It was sort of strange after a while. Like he had the Comin GMR, and then it like moved on to 1UP.
Yep.
But yeah, Artanelico 2.
Artanelico 2.
I've watched Carolyn play that over the long weekend. I reviewed the first one, and I genuinely liked it. It's JRPG like crazy. Just
it's another Atlas joint, right?
No, it's not Atlas. It's NIS. They did.
That's what I meant.
Did Atelier Iris 1, 2, and 3, and Artanelico. They all kind of recycle the same sprites and music styling, but. One of my favorite things about Artanelico, the first one, was the battle system. It was genuinely fun to get in fights. It wasn't a task. It was like I felt involved. And watching Carolyn play the second one, it's even better.
Yeah.
Like the battles were like always back and forth. There's always some kind of interaction. You're not just hitting a menu, fight, watch the fight, okay, go. There's like phases and things are going on, but it's still turn-based. And the music was very upbeat and peppy. And granted, it's PS2. It's hard to get excited about a PS2 RPG at this point, but. And it's going to sound quite trite to say, if you like blah, 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 blah.
In Artanelico, if anybody who's probably heard about it and cares has some interest in it already.
Yeah.
And to know that it delivers on some of that promise.
Yeah. I know, and I believe, and I don't know what Carolyn's giving it yet, because I think she's still writing it.
She gave me an inkling of what she's leaning towards. And
I know. I know what she's leaning.
That's right.
You live with her. I do live with her. So I know she's.
I had an inside scoop on your girlfriends.
Yeah, good game though. Good game. Also, we're having a contest. I believe it should be up by now. Artanelico 2 is full of sexual innuendo on purpose.
Because that's what sex creates, babies.
Right.
That's a bit of a stretch.
I was angling to hit a button when you were ready to go.
But it's all about these girls. Like in the first one, there were these things called graph node crystals that you had to insert into the girls. And they would keep saying things like, it hurts when you put it in, this is my first time, be gentle, would you like putting anything in my holes, like all kinds of stuff like that.
Please don't break my hymen with that crystal.
Well, hymen is an acronym that stands for hyperactive yellow.
I don't know. But the game is just loaded with it, so it's kind of funny that our contest is giving away body pillow covers. If you
Body
want.
pillow covers.
So it's like a body-sized version of these like pretty cute anime girls.
Do the body pillows have those holes that you spoke of earlier?
No, but they're an easy scissor snip away.
To the winners, I am also going to email directions on how to make a prison vagina. It's pretty intense. Involves saran wrap
Dutch
towels and
uncle,
rubber
as it
bands.
was?
A what?
A Dutch uncle, as it were?
A Dutch uncle.
Gross.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the Dutch?
I know. What's wrong with the Dutch? They built that oven.
All right.
All right. But the biggest thing that came out this week is probably a game called Scat 2. Skate 2.
There's also Dawn of War 2.
I'm sorry. I don't see. I just don't know according to release lists. I think it is.
What came out?
I think it's coming out this week.
Wait, in the meantime, I have some important news.
Breaking news. Charlie Barrett. Hold on.
From ABC 7 News, which only would text message me if something big had happened, like a bridge had collapsed or a nuclear explosion.
Why did you check that box to let you?
I don't remember checking this box, but apparently the Obama girls are letting loose in the White House.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm going to click on this link and find out.
The Obama girls is in plural? But there was one Obama girl. Oh, these daughters!
Wow, I can't find any reference to anything about Dawn of War 2. Let's just assume not. Continue.
Yeah, so Skate 2 is coming out, and I think it's getting... Are you on Metacritic, Brett? It's getting reviewed pretty well.
Oh, well.
I saw a bunch of 8s and 9s. I know Scotty really liked it. I love the first one. I didn't hear what Dan had to say about it.
Yes, Scott from P-Tom, who we discussed earlier.
Scott Butterpot.
Right now it's averaging an 83.
83, which is really good for Metacritic.
Out of, like 6
out of 12, so...
The highest being Game Player.
That exists?
And then the lowest being Edge, who says... Black Box's sequel ultimately struggles to offer any compelling justification for its own existence. 7, huh?
Hey,
that seems a bit high for a game that has that fails to offer any justification for its existence. That sounds like a 3.
It's harsh, but I understand being a critic and having to write something like that, because I was thinking about how much I played the Tony Hawks and how I other than being like, ooh, another Tony Hawk already? I'm not ready for one. I always welcome every Tony Hawk. It's like, oh, this is pretty cool. They never really got bad. They just...
That Proving Ground.
Proving Ground is not... It was a way more worthy addition than Project 8.
But you didn't play Proving Ground.
Because because I started working here. Ask me how many games I usually play. I'm playing as little games now as I did during finals in college.
Oh yeah, I'm playing way less now than I used to.
For personal reasons, so...
Which is strange working at a game site. So if you're thinking to get into this industry to play a lot more games, you will see a lot more games.
Yeah.
You will play half as many.
I read about games. Oh man, do I dissect a press release or two? But
I will go to events and oh man, am I going to see?
It bugs me that I didn't have. I guess I haven't had the proper time to get into Skate 2 like fully, because. We were talking about that Tony Hawk. I played it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I went to the dorms, and someone should show me how to play it. When you have people competing with you and showing you how to play it, it works a lot better. Not that much into Skate 2, but luckily I had a feature idea for skate games. That
I see this segue you just accomplished.
Yes.
That's quite masterful.
There's another one coming up, but this is what my brain the whole time. All that's going through it.
Yeah.
Skate 2. Skate games. We did skate games at time forgot, and yes, I'm aware I didn't forget about Transworld. What was the one you yelled at me about?
Yanya Kabbalista City Skater.
I just never played that, and it turns out of the 14, there's actually like 25 games on this list. I just lied. I played all of them as they came out out of my own interest, and I didn't realize that. Thrasher being the only... Thrasher and Grind Session being the only one. What's your time to track them? Whatever.
God, Thrasher.
Thrasher, it's really difficult, but it's very simmy.
But isn't that the one where it has the cop view where he's shooting you with the taser?
Did you read my feature?
Yes, I did.
Ah, look at that.
I don't think I read that part, but...
I called that Bro versus Taser 99. But just coming across that, I'm not going to go too in depth. I did want to share some of the awful skate sound effects I found from periodic skate games. Probably the worst skate game on the list was The Simpsons skateboarding, which was completely necessary and the only logical step The Simpsons could take in the games.
Well, after wrestling, where else?
Exactly.
Which was awful.
What do you
Simpsons
do?
Wrestling was terrible.
You bust hand plants with Marge Simpson over with the groundskeeper. Clearly, that's the.
I mean, I think the main reason Simpsons skateboarding exists was to make Simpsons Crazy Taxi or whatever the hell it was called look good.
Hit and Run?
No, Hit and Run was the GTA clone. What was it?
Road Rash. No, Road Rage.
Road Rage. Yeah, that's it.
Simpsons Hit and Run was surprisingly fun.
That was a really good game.
It was. It was very rewarding for nerds, too.
That was like the first good Simpsons game since the arcade game.
Yeah.
It's like it was those two and then like 100 other things that were unplayable.
So even that game had 6 levels and 3 of them were just repeats of the previous levels. Like it was like 3 levels and let's just do those over again with different lighting.
Now it's night.
Yeah, now it's night. Or sunset.
Now it's night and Bart's wearing a tank top. But,
wait, so which skateboarding game was most forgotten by time?
I had mentioned 720 just because it's called 720 because it was named for the ultimate trick of the day. which is really straight. Which is like naming your football game Leather Helmet or something like that. I made some joke about the Negro Leagues, which I won't retread because it doesn't seem to work when you say it out loud.
I got it for what that's.
Yeah, Simpsons skateboarding. Game Informer gave it a 1.
Wow.
Has a great paragraph on it, and then they have a second opinion for the dissenting. So you get 2 opinions. Also gave it a 1. A double 1 from Game Informer. The best thing about it is every game, Simpsons came out years after all the Me Too's did, all the Thrashers, all the Grind, all the Street Skaters. You don't need anybody to do a point-by-token. No more football. 5-0 grind. Grabber.
5-0 groin? Is that what you said?
But the Simpsons decided to have someone yell out what trick you're doing. Can anybody who hasn't read the article guess who that was?
Matt Groening.
No actors, no real people. A character on the show.
Is it a character on the show? Is it the sea captain?
I would have been awesome. Arg! You just pulled the Christ there.
A mighty boneless.
Right, no, let's continue guessing. Was it Otto?
Yeah. Otto? That's why I have to. You did the impersonation.
No, I can't. No. Apparently, it was
a sponge.
Oh, was it Maggie with Elizabeth Taylor's voice?
It was a certain.
Was it Clancy Wiggum?
No, let's see if you can figure it out.
Tail grab.
Kid Brockman.
Execution. Nose manual. Oh, the humanity.
So wrong.
Yeah, I thought that was a little silly, and I'm gonna get that full game and pull all of that shit, and I'll do nothing but play it on the podcast.
I really want nose manual.
Oh, the humanity! I for one greet our ant conquerors.
Ant overlords, get it right.
Ant overlords.
Nose manual.
The Killbot Factory.
Today.
A Killbot. And we watched The Simpsons once.
And we watched The Simpsons a lot. We did.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that. What about Skater Die 2?
Skater Die 2. I forgot all about this, but the You Are Dead theme song was the only thing stuck in my head longer than this song.
I love the Skater Dead 2 song. Skater Die 2 song. It sounds like if someone tried to convert 9 Inch Nails to 8-bit sound effects. It's a garbled voice worse than Genesis, and I love 8-bit music to death.
Yeah.
I will go on, and I love this because of how bad it is. It's just noise.
There's a lot of talking in Skater Die 2, way more than I remembered.
Let's hear it. Oh, it's the beeping. Wait. Like, skip to the middle where it's just like, it's just. Alright, here it comes.
I love it.
I thought I was gonna have to go download a better MP3 when I heard this again. I'm like,
This sounds like somebody working in their garage.
You have no idea how much joy it brings me to play that on a podcast. I love that.
Wow.
Love that.
I don't know what you guys are complaining about. That was awesome.
That was amazing.
That's
You guys obviously didn't spend much time skitching in the park. That was all we were into right then.
I was just busy playing Toki.
Yeah. But what I thought was odd is that when I did the Forgotten Skate games, Brett, you're right here. Correct me if I'm wrong. There was a massive gap in between games where you could skate in the SNES Genesis period.
Seems like it.
They had platformers that used it as an excuse not to animate walking.
Yeah, like
you just,
Super Adventure Island had a skateboard.
you could go left and not right, the kind of shit. So
Yeah.
on a skateboard, but they didn't have. Skater Die is a genuine skating game. There's skating elements to it.
Yeah, it seems like it was kind of missing until Tony Hawk.
Exactly. It was for a little while at least. EA tried those awful Extreme games, and I know we have a lot of fond memories of them, but they're all basically road rash. And it says at the bottom, you're a skateboarder. You never once put your foot to the ground to propel you. You crouch for speed.
Oh, the two extreme.
The speed in the bottom is 65 miles an hour. So you jump on your board, whoosh.
I remember playing the first Extreme game in 2 Extreme. The first Extreme was on a PlayStation demo disc that came with the original PlayStation. And I was like, even then was like, this game kind of looks like crap. Because they used digitized people, it just looked.
And
really
it took them forever to get the fucking memo about polygons.
Yeah,
they didn't finally do it until the third game.
No, we have to keep making them for the 3DO.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they finally got there, it's like you just digitized characters origami. That's what your skaters look like. And thank you, Brad. But
I know what origami is.
The gap. The only thing I could find on the SNES was California Games 2, which is all. But it also featured some of the worst music.
Really?
I've ever heard. Maybe this is my emulator, but I don't know. I made this feature with an emulator. Go fuck yourself, GameTap.
It's not illegal. I thought that was illegal.
No. I own all of these games.
Oh, right.
They're just in various stages of payment in places around the country. That is not illegal, but here's a little California Games 2 intro. All right, get this together. This is some guy warming up. Clearly, they're not going to use this to open up the game.
But the bass is just going nuts. It does sound like your emulator is chugging. I don't think that the actual Super Nintendo cart would sound, because knowing what I know about Super Nintendo music, it sounds like things are missing.
Something about that's very
really does. But for like a game like, hey, come hang out on the beach with us.
Well, yeah.
No.
Speaking of awful songs.
Oh wait, please tell me you have sound effects from the Disney one.
No.
No, we played Trust Company in podcast 2 about the most.
And people predicted I do that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. One of the comments on the skate article, 14 skateboarding games forgotten by time, was, "Hey, betcha Trust Company's going to show up in the next podcast and reference the previous one it popped in, and be bashed by some poop jokes and excessive use of the new fart button."
You heard the man.
Yeah, I'll still giggle and laugh late that Friday night. So, Gamma, there you go. We actually didn't bring it up.
They made me feel, you listeners, you're like, it was funny, but what the hell were you doing with all the sound effects? Like, I tried to explain, I reformatted my computer, so I basically got to pick who were the top sounds.
Yeah.
So I got to get rid of a lot of old stuff I wasn't using, so I went way overboard in the third segment, and I apologize. But you should still download and listen to it.
It was a great podcast. I really liked last week's. 34 was really good.
As did I.
So, speaking of shitty songs, which we ruined that segue.
My bad.
Songs like the wonderful California games. Oh, I know. Dead on.
Yeah.
That was a great segue.
Nice.
I will take PayPal donations.
Very professional. I said that was downright Dan Emmerich and Ryan McCaffrey of you.
of KOXM at OXM Podcast.
KOXM.
Which, by the way, you should listen to.
You should.
Yeah, there's
And
this
not
weird,
just because they've been kind enough to plug us on numerous occasions.
yeah, there's this weird sister podcast relationship with us.
Their
like
older brother.
They're our older brother, and we are the annoying stepchild or something. I don't know what the actual.
We're the youngest who needs attention. Our parents are tired of dealing with us. And
Yes,
They love us deep down, but they're sick of dealing with us.
That's kind of
exactly.
But yeah, theirs is much more focused. Like
We
super
did our best.
focused.
We did the best we could with OXM and P-Tom. I'm just kind of worried about Games Radar.
Yeah. Well, Dan did say that this podcast is everything that is. That one is not. This one is funnier, longer, louder, sillier. Theirs is like much more informative. I'll give you that.
It is because they actually have
know,
people on every week.
If you want to know about Xbox games, like you want hard information, that's a good podcast to go for. If you want to laugh, you should listen to ours. Speaking of laughter,
Hopefully.
bad songs make us laugh, and I totally forgot that. And I wish it's not close to Halloween, and I didn't want to wait 10 months to do this. Castlevania had this weird album came out called like Dracula Perfect Selection, and it's a band that made a bunch of songs about Castlevania and specifically about Dracula. And they're all.
Is it Wesley Willis?
No.
Oh man.
They're all.
I know who he is.
I know who he is.
They're all remixed Castlevania songs from like the NES days with really bad lyrics.
Really? They added lyrics? So this thing I have called Bloody Tears.
Yeah.
There's lyrics to Bloody Tears.
There's some lyrics. The thing is, it was clearly somebody remixed the songs and then put lyrics over it. I want to do Mad Force last.
I haven't heard these yet, so I'm...
Wait, real quick before we start. One of them, I think Vampire Killer, I want you to start at the 1 minute mark, not the beginning of the song. So if you could get Vampire Killer to 1 minute. Is that 1 minute in?
Vampire Killer, kiss que say.
Blah, 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 blah.
Nicely done, sir.
Wish I could have committed better to that.
Blah, 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 blah. So the first one is Vampire Killer, which it takes it a minute to get to this point, but go ahead and play Vampire Killer from a minute in.
Okay.
Women, men, boys, and girls, you'll take them all. That's why I'm out here to put you to a stall. And everybody believes that I'm gonna get you.
All right.
It's sort of Thriller.
It's everybody knows I'm gonna get you. It's a really long pause. All right, which if you know Castlevania, that song Vampire Killer is like the definitive Castlevania song.
Yeah.
The next one is Bloody Tears. I think right away starts being stupid.
I've never heard this before.
Bloody Tears is from Castlevania 2.
I know what Bloody Tears is. I'm just saying I've never heard of this album before.
Oh, it's really bad. Obviously.
Do you remember a long time ago in Pennsylvania, there was a man named Dracula.
Notice it has the woo!
Yeah! Woo! He had a craving for...
Oh my god.
It's the spin that wheel sound effect from the Ninja Turtles soundtrack.
Is this Crisscross or CNC Music
Holy
Factory?
shit. Dude, this is what our podcast should deal with exclusively. Can you please bring in your old game tie-ins?
It's from 1991, so that explains the clearly early 90s caliber of the music. Which
that's a sound effect. Like I think the late 90s really was addicted to turntable scratching and threw it in rock songs. But the keyboard, woo!
Speaking of which, play Mad Forest, then the other one. Just the first second gets it right.
Okay.
Ooh.
It all starts with a Jenga, man.
All right. That's all. It's by Konami. I had Carolyn pronounce this last night because I'm not very good at.
It's Konami Kukeha Club. It's Kukeiha, but it's Japanese, so it's like Kukeiha. I don't know how to pronounce that. Club. That's the composer. Apparently, the vocals are performed by a guy named Joey McCoy and Ornell Jones. I just thought it was too funny to pass up.
No, absolutely. But now, I just mentioned it. Did anybody see anything in the news they wanted to mention? What happened this week? Something important.
Some guy was talking.
Yeah. We had a president.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Girls were letting loose in the White House.
What's special about this president?
He's the fourth youngest.
Yeah, his middle name is Hussein.
No, deeper. Look deeper inside him.
Maybe you should tell us.
Yeah.
In the most offensive way possible.
Now that we've killed the joke,
he's black.
You're kidding.
I did notice that. You told me to look deeper, so I was like, well,
see, me and Michael, just like Stephen Colbert, don't see color.
Exactly. We see in black and white, actually, like literally grayscale, like in movies.
I never wear my glasses. That's all I see. If you want me to recognize you, please be a different color. It really helps me. But no, it's our first black president. So someone went, and I've always wanted to do shit like this. I know I'll never be able to get it right. I'll always be missing something. But these guys at Vintage Computing managed to find the first black game character ever.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does anybody think back as far as you possibly can? Like, what can you come up with?
God, I really can't.
It is hard. It is really hard because I think we actually
say
we're as old as the game industry, but it's actually further back than we probably started playing.
Is it from the 70s?
It's not that it's from the 70s. It's just you probably weren't playing games at
most of the games in the beginning didn't have people in them, so it takes a while to get to the point where they would represent people.
The year good call was 1979.
Okay, which is probably a cue to play the song.
Here it goes.
Which was in GTA 4, you lawyer bitches.
Yes, mofos. We're editorializing GTA 4. What a fantastic game! Great.
I really liked having that song in there while I drove around. Anyway,
thank you.
I like bowling that song.
It's true. It's true. What a good song to have in that game.
No, it was Atari's. Anybody?
Yar's Revenge.
Circus Attack.
I got rid of my buzzer noise. Sorry, Charlie.
Was there?
It is quite offensively basketball.
Oh, I know. E.T.
No, E.T.'s not black. He's beige.
Is it? It's not 1-on-1, is it?
No. I believe it's an Atari basketball. Basketball. The answer was, and what they did is colored a single sprite brown, and that.
Bold of them.
The first game character. Because I know whenever we want to do a feature like this, but the first we also have to dig through this horrible pixelated nonsense that we weren't alive to even play.
We've always wanted to do I've always wanted to do a feature that was like the first instances of all this stuff that is so commonplace.
Again, readers suggest shit like that, and yes, we've thought of it, but some of it is impossible to do in any way considered definitive.
Also, just the time constraints that we have.
Exactly. Like we have to procure stuff like this and find it.
It's possible to find the game at the first minecart level or whatever, but it's like, I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah, it's possible. They found the first black character and it was a pixel.
Yeah, but I mean, this what this website is devoted to is digging through extremely ancient shit none of us ever saw.
You just know we're gonna find half of things.
Speak for yourself. I was a year old.
You were yes, that's right. Michael was the greatest 1-year-old in all gaming.
I totally was
touring the world.
Don't even know.
Yes, playing Pong in 3P.
I was a sideshow attraction.
This joke that I'm using at him.
Pong in 3P? Oh my god!
No, Michael was a civil rights activist, and he's lobbying them to change that Pong to a black paddle instead of a white paddle.
Mm-hmm.
God, I have a Dreamcast.
So who was the first black protagonist? That game, because that's just like, it's a player.
I think this guy is a protagonist. He's throwing a basketball.
What's strange is the first one that keeps coming into my mind is the player 2 of Contra 3. Only because Contra 3 has been coming up so much in my head lately for random reasons. But player 2 I thought was black. Because remember the screens at the
I thought he was like tan.
The splash graphics at the end of the level where it's you and the other guy. I swear that guy was black. I haven't played it in forever.
Not Contra 3 though. That was way late in the game.
I know that was way late. No, not the first. That's
The guy, one of the kids in McKids was black.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think the first like recognizably black character I ever saw in a game that was like an actual recognizable as a person character was Dr. J in the original 1-on-1 for Apple II.
Really?
Yeah.
Dr. J.
There were colors on Apple II?
There were, surprisingly.
The Thunder from Down Under, the Magic Man. I'm making all these up. I have no idea what his nicknames are and who he is.
You have no clue. But yeah, before it was Jordan versus Bird, it was Dr. J versus Bird.
Oh, Bird was still in it.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
All right, but I know why. I guess it was Irving versus Bird if you want to really split hairs.
They had to do that. I want to know what the first black character that wasn't a basketball player was.
Yeah, what was the first black character who could do anything but throw a ball in video games?
Coltrane.
It's gonna be so sad if it's McKids.
I can't imagine it would be McKids.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I know if we were writing something on that, we'd have to like specify the criteria so much.
Well, like you could change your color in Jeopardy for NES, but you could have like neon green kids with pink hair. So that
you could be like a really black like person with bright blonde hair.
Yeah, like the colors were just randomized.
Very progressive game.
It really was.
It could be Dennis Rodman before there was Dennis Rodman.
That's right. Black characters. I only had this little thing I wanted to mention because I saw it a while ago and it didn't even occur to me. The morphine feature is going to stay in Velvet Assassin, and it didn't occur to me that the game's main mechanic is essentially a drug.
I didn't know Velvet Assassin.
You're Velvet Assassin. You're this mercenary during World War II, and the game starts when you're in a hospital bed. You're basically incapacitated, and the movie takes place in the flashbacks you're having in your head.
The game takes place.
The game takes place during the flashbacks you have in your head, and when you're getting too hurt, the button you hit is you in your physical body hitting a morphine drug to ease the pain you're feeling within your flashbacks that you can't control.
Oh, weird.
But and so I didn't even think when this is ported over to other countries and other rules, like you clearly can't have a hard drug like morphine as your main feature.
Wait, so what? This game hasn't come out?
It has not come out yet, but it's in places like Germany they're really really tight about shit they allow in games. They said basically the story was over that it's going to stay. They're not going to remove the mechanic or disguise it as something else. And it's kind of when it happens, everything gets all yellow and pea-like, and you see little blood cells floating around. And if you hit it too much, you OD and die. Like that's how you die in the game, by overdosing on this drug that you don't even see. You don't even see yourself using it. I just thought that was kind of cool that they're not going to compromise. Going to keep that in the game.
It's an interesting mechanic.
I just thought it was an interesting. I never even thought about that. Using that as this.
Is it going to come out in anything besides PC?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out on Xbox 360, like most other things.
Haze had drugs in it, but not quite as obvious as
Haze was like going for like a straight up M rating. There was a chance that this thing could sneak in international teen categories. Probably not actually, but Australia, Saudi Arabia, Germany, they're not going to tolerate any reference to any drug, possibly, and everybody's uninterested. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we could talk about. We have a GT. I was going to talk about GTA 4 Chinatown Wars, but that preview on our site right now really summed up a lot of it. And I don't know. Maybe
what were some of the highlights? You saw Chinatown Wars this week. What were quick before we go to break? What were your big takeaways?
That the DS is a playable system that everybody's been ignoring for traditional games.
I agree with that. Like, I'm reviewing Moon at the present state still, as of last week, and still this week because I'm so busy I can't write a goddamn review for it.
There's not there's not much footage out about the game, which is a shame because it really.
Which one? GTA?
The GTA Chinatown Wars, which I'm not even overselling it. It's just, this is a game I would have played. Like, maybe it looks old, but I would have played this on the PS2 or PS1 and loved it.
Probably so, yeah.
And loved it. So this is like a new game. It retains the same sense of humor and the same scale. It uses everything but I think Alderney. And why don't they have Alderney? And they're like, well, as you know, the Triad's reach doesn't go into Alderney. I'm like, yeah, really? Is that why you cut out an island? Yeah. On the DS? No, but there's no.
Well, as you know, Chinese criminals can only go where their Triad's reach extends. It's not like they can go on vacation or anything.
It's true. They have triad collars. Once they go out, they get shocked, and eventually they learn you don't have to keep the collars on them anymore.
Does it take place in like GTA 4 period?
In Liberty City, like you look at your map on the PDA, it looks just like the one.
Well, I know it takes place in Liberty City, but is it like a time frame, like Liberty?
Yeah. As far as I can tell,
okay.
Like everything seems modern.
Okay.
Actually, it's the exact same location. There's no characters retained from from GTA 4, but there's the same locations, and you will recognize some of them.
Interesting.
I'm not at liberty to say which basically means I don't remember.
But I mean, overall, does it seem fun?
I think what they don't
does it seem fun? Like it seems seems impressive, but like Moon, before I write the review, I'm having trouble getting over the fact that it's not all that fun, despite that it is very impressive. And I want to give it a good score just because, holy shit, hats off, you guys. Really.
Like GTA Chinatown Wars is impressive. The fact that they can do this, it's not necessarily pretty.
Right? No, not necessarily.
So it's not impressive in that kind of way. Like technically, like oh wow, but the driving mechanic, and I read a lot about it before I went into it about the auto steer correcting, which I basically couldn't notice. But they've done a lot of things. We were just talking earlier about Burnout and trying to find where you're going.
Yeah, Burnout Paradise, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for the DS, they've simplified it with a line that is on the physical road. So there's one on the bottom you can look at, and there's one on the top you can reference as well. You can turn it off, on, no big deal. If also for the DS, you can, in GTA, where you're like, go pick up Bernie, and then drive to the gun store, and then go to the thingy-majig. You'll start out right where you died, instead of having to redo everything. And my favorite is with the Rockstar Social Club, you'll be able to replay events as you want. Like, they're not gone forever. That's it. What they don't show in the screenshots is, it's a big city. When you get out of your car and you're fighting, things are still at different levels. Like, there's a dumpster, a hole in the wall. They're all at varying ranges of height, which you can lob grenades over, Molotovs. The screenshots don't really encapsulate how big the game is and how many things are factored into the tiny small.
When I look at a lot of the screens, I just see like circles with people on top of them and bullets. Like it's really hard to catch.
No, it's like when you get close up on a map where you're just fighting, like you can take cover as this little thing.
Yeah.
This little thing. There's areas in the environment you won't be able to hide behind, and some you will. And I thought that was fairly amazing.
If most people probably know this, but some people very, very well not know the first two GTAs were that way.
Yeah, you think so?
That's what the screenshots look like to me. It's just
oh
wow, you just remade the old games from.
Oh no, it's
they remade the old games with better graphics.
It's more sophisticated than like GTA 1 or 2, but it's I don't know. I thought it was possible some people listening might be like, I didn't play any since 3 and never thought to really look at 1 or 2. Anyway, what's the soundtrack? What are the sounds?
Soundtrack, I was informed, will be licensed but more instrumental MIDI versions of things you might know. I didn't hear anything I could recognize, and I'm usually pretty good with that.
All right, fair enough. I was just kind of curious.
Since they didn't say it like this, but basically developing a mission for that isn't as time intensive as developing a mission in Grand Theft Auto 4. It just can't be the case. So they opened up the debug, and I'm just paying attention and like oh wait, these are missions. Billion. No, there's a lot of fucking missions.
No, I don't want so many missions. I want to actually be able to play and finish the game.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They kind of designed it for a pick up and play aspect, so it's really fast. And if you want to quit,
but how many of those missions is going to be almost exact repeats of previous missions? Like, the
ones I played were pretty varied and different. And the favorite one being when you're in a helicopter over the Statue of Happiness, lobbing out unlimited Molotov cocktails on people trying to coming up to you with rocket launchers, and you'll fly around the city, and you can detect the range of how far you want to throw it by when you let go of the stylus. You start on your character, throw, and let go when you're done, and there's a little line so you can see the distance.
So is it 100% stylus, or is it like a mix of?
No. Once you're on foot, you control the D-pad. You control the car with the D-pad. Like basically, the touch screen is your PDA, and the PDA works a lot like the cell phone, which I thought was a pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good
cool
way of organizing everything. I'm sorry to the multiplayer in GTA 4. Where the PDA works even better because, it has a stylus now.
Right.
And so you can set lines easier, you can set waypoints way easier. I'm just excited about it because I've made it a goal of mine to buy every DS Mature game. And I have 4. And I cannot wait.
What are they?
I'm just kidding. I haven't really researched. There's like a Resident Evil game on there.
There's Resident Evil Deadly Silence. There's Resident Evil Deadly Silence and Dementium are the only two that spring.
It's not the best, one of the best-selling systems of all time.
Yeah.
A handful of games for adults. And it's filthy mouth, not voice acting. When you kill pedestrian, it's hilarious. There's hilarious like blood-curdling shit.
It's always hilarious when you kill pedestrians.
They hate it when you say this, but it is always fun and it is always hilarious. You owe it to yourself to kill pedestrians in a GTA game. Otherwise, you're getting half the
At least a few. That's true.
You really are. But I won't say any more than that. I just didn't get to write my preview this week. Whatever. We'll go into break with that, I guess. Michael can talk a little more about something else within the same realm of GTA. Chinatown Wars next this week.
Probably, yeah.
There's your game intensive coverage, or game focus coverage. When we get back,
Community. We've got question of the week. We've got a bunch of new users I got to call out. We got a new question of the week as well as the responses from last week. And I mean that's all I've got for community segment.
Yeah. I've got some new deals, some new game deals too. Some are pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Look at you go with your game deals.
Sure.
Rise from your grave.
Power, now. You are playing with power.
Punch Out by Nintendo. 11 world-class contenders. Take them down with your controller, beat them all, and you've got a shot at Tyson's title.
Power.
But for that, you've got to beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
I'd buy that for $1.
Oh, podcast is back. And it's back. As I'd like to thank Henry Latainte for his ringing endorsement. Yeah, I'm not going to make any apologies. I'm happy that Belly Feed the Tree is coming to Rock Band this week. So, nuts to you guys. Nuts to you guys. You know,
I didn't think that song existed after the 90s were over.
I wrote in and I said, yeah, this is great. Next, I want some letters to Cleo. I'd be a happy boy.
We get some Four Non-Blondes up in there.
Okay, that is terrible. Those Four Non-Blondes is the most. I listened to the whole album. I'm like, what is this shit? Spaceman, have you heard that song? That was their next big hit after Yeah Yeah Hey Yeah Hey Yeah Hey Yeah.
No, okay. I know the killer song that just came out is called Spaceman.
And there's the Babylon Zoo song called Spaceman off the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
Yeah, that's off More Combat, which I thought was More Combat. It's another CD.
More
yeah.
Dash Toll Combat.
Apparently, it was like more songs chosen by the guy who assembled the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. I don't know.
Which sadly was instrumental in defining my musical taste. Was the Mortal Kombat original soundtrack?
I love that we're talking about this.
I think it's a milestone. Anyway,
that's what.
Moving on.
This is music related. We just did a rock bit.
I'm just saying. I love that Feed the Tree is the background of this.
Well, what are you going to do? Play some Ace of Base instead?
That's God. I wish they had a guitar in any of their songs. So
They don't. They really don't. Well,
Marcy's Playground.
I do. Oh god.
What do you want to go into first? The game deals?
Yeah.
All right.
Marcy Playground was mid-90s.
Hey.
Borderline late 90s.
No.
Today, Junior.
Take my advice and do as I say. Save a little money for a rainy day.
God damn it. And what's it from again? Because I've forgotten at this point.
What?
What's it from again? I've forgotten at this point.
1942 cartoon called Donald's Birthday. You've seen the cartoon where Donald forces his nephews to smoke an entire box of cigars very cruelly in their own treehouse, kind of on their turf.
It taught them not to smoke, didn't it?
Donald Duck in Ass Magic Land.
I only want to point this out because this guy sent me a message because one of the deals last week was from BrandSmart.
Brand
Smart.
I gotta admit, I'm trying to edit the third segment of podcast every week. I can't do it this week, but last week when I was doing it, I think I laughed more at us trying to get over BrandSmart than anything else in the third segment, because hearing it over and over while editing it, like, let me check this level, let me check that thing, all of us going, wait, what? BrandSmart? BrandSmart?
BrandSmart USA? I don't understand. And luckily, listener Duress sent me this private message. What the dude? BrandSmart USA is a huge fucking store in Atlanta. These are all his fucks, by the way. I shouldn't be accountable for that. I'm not sure where else they are. They usually have decent prices, but the stores look like an American flag. Fuck the yellow highlighter. Grew to an enormous size and cluttered the fuck out of its insides.
Oh, God.
As a PS, Brett Elston should admit he is a pedophile with that fucking Animal Crossing boner of his.
Go on a minute.
I love our listeners.
Well, what's funny is they weren't online until recently. How could I be a pedophile? I mean, that's just incredibly insane to suggest that I waited outside to meet kids at Toys R Us.
All right.
I was, however, a Pokemon gym leader, so...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, did you not? I haven't told you guys this?
Yeah, but this is the game deal segment, but go ahead.
I bet people listening will really identify with this. The Pokemon collectible card game that started in like 98, 99. It was a huge deal at Toys R Us because we were selling a crap load of those cards, right?
Yeah.
They asked, literally, Toys R Us as a company decided we gotta have Pokemon leagues every Saturday. Where kids come play, they bring their cards, we have tournaments, have somebody preside over them. Who's gonna do that? And I was like, right here. I got a shirt that said gym leader.
You still have this?
No, I don't. They might be at my parents' house. I don't know. But I love the yellow. I got two shirts. One was yellow and one was red. But they came with all the badges that you get in the game.
Oh, after Pokemon Red and Pokemon Yellow.
No.
Oh.
No, sadly it was just yellow was the first, and then the red one. The red one came later. But anyway, that sucked ass because. You basically get into arguments with parents because kids would lie about winning and shit.
It's just like any other sport. You didn't put my kid in.
Exactly.
He had a kick-ass Squirtle, man. What are you doing?
Like some old lady wanted to get one of my friends fired because, are you calling my son a liar? Yeah. Yes.
This Charmander clearly kicked the shit out of that.
I made my cheap ass seal deck to fight your dugong, and this.
The joke would have been much better if I could name more than 3 Pokemon.
I know. I'm sorry. Well, only 490 more. So
game deals. FYEs. We have one. Let's go tomorrow because they're all closing.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yay! Another corpse to death.
Fine.
Is everything going to be like 50% off, like it was with Circuit City? That would be awesome.
Well, even in terms of what I bought games for previously, $9.99, pretty good.
Yeah.
Alien Syndrome on Wii, which wasn't
awful. If you mean
by
wasn't, was.
There was one mechanic that was really good and one that was terrible, and they
what
both
was good about
battled. Because you remember how you controlled stuff in Alien Syndrome by the Wii remote, like. You're moving a person around and controlling a reticle from a top-down perspective.
Right.
You're controlling the laser beam with which area you fire. That worked pretty damn well.
Uh-huh.
But
like Smash TV, Robotron.
Yeah, like Smash TV. Like imagine Smash TV, but you could control analog style which way you were pointing. Pretty cool. Rest of the game, repetitive and shitty and ugly as all get out because it was originally designed for PSP.
Yeah.
Battalion Wars, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, $9.99.
Really?
Yeah.
Which
Fire Emblem is apparently rare, so
it's a good game. The GameCube and Wii Fire Emblems are very good. I really like them a lot.
In 360, you got Conan, which I've been receiving much crap about playing by our users. Thank you very much, TSR.
I played Jericho over the weekend, and TSR
He was playing it. I totally caught him playing it.
Oh yeah, he was playing it. Yeah, what the hell, hypocrite?
I played Jericho over the weekend to go through it because I had this obsession to play a weird random game over any 3-day weekend, and I went all the way through Jericho. And within 5 minutes of playing Suburbia Ruins, send me a message that says amazing game. I would not be so kind with that adjective, but it definitely had cool parts. But I don't want to get into it anymore. But that's a quick game to blow through if you find it for $10.
Too true. Here's an amazing game to blow through. Kind of weird. Dell.com is offering Rock Band 2. 360. You say
That's just weird that Dell.com.
I know that they're taking up games. $35.
That's just the disc.
$35 just the disc. Not bad.
No, it's not.
Not bad at all, but I hate that I have to read this out because I don't want any. If you don't want to go looking for it, you have to enter in a code at the end that'll take $30 off it. That code, put the caps lock on, SHP47HTL88M9CC. That is SHP47HTL88M9CC.
77777.
No.
Wow.
Call of Duty at Costco for $41.
We did not have this segment the last time I was on the podcast.
That's what they got to know about Charlie. He never listens. He has no idea what's ever happened.
I know what happens when I'm here.
The editing process.
Which Call of Duty?
World at Modern Warfare.
Oh, okay.
World at Web of Quantum.
And then when I was reading this, somebody said oh, it's $39 at Radio Shack, but I don't know if Radio Shack sells new or used games. It's too confusing. GameStop, and for everybody, we're play online with us. GameStop has $24 12-month Xbox Live Gold cards right now, at least for the next 4 or 5 days.
That's pretty good.
Speaking of that, we've been trying to start organizing a weekly play with TalkRadar people.
Yeah, so when you hear this, I want it that's what our next vote will be. What is the game you want to set aside for us to play over the weekend? What works better for you?
I think it should be Metal Gear Solid 4.
I am going to have to disagree with Michael on this.
Just because we should work in at least one PS3 game at some point.
We should work in a PS. It'll be an excuse to get off my ass and get some resistance on.
I don't think Microsoft is paying us to talk about PS3 games on the podcast, Mike.
Also, I'm looking at BestBuy.com. Far Cry 2, $29.99.
Yeah, but Best Buy's deals differ from what they are online, and every time I go in there to follow one of their deals, it's either sold out in the first 10 minutes or the store intentionally has never heard of it and doesn't carry the game.
Right. I'm just saying, if you go to BestBuy.com and just buy it up the site.
Oh, is it on .com? Then
yes. Yeah. Also, if you care, Infinite Undiscovery is $39.99.
I care.
Do you?
Not $39.99 care. But
$3.99.
Also, Naruto: The Broken Bond, $39.99, and I think we've already mentioned Prince of Persia has been dropped to $39.
Already? Ubisoft is so quick to drop its games. God damn.
Did mention that last time.
I pointed that out only in the Target Mountain segment.
Yeah.
Of the articles that Shaun White's been dropped for being shitty all over the place, except for the place that signed the exclusive.
Target is the
clearly it's not whatever if they drop it to $20, that means the Mountain is worth $40.
Yeah,
because Target will continue to charge $60 for the full
or
game.
It might be that's just the only place where it's selling because people are well, I don't want to pay full price for a game and get left out with some of the content.
But again, that's another conundrum that this stupid kind of thing creates, which is why.
Well, that's exactly what it's intended to create.
Well, I don't think we should support that.
Obviously not.
That is a TalkRadar.
I'm just explaining to you why it might still be $60 because maybe that's where it's selling.
What you just heard is a Michael Raparez justification. But it is a TalkRadar don't buy. TalkRadar don't buy.
Is that going to be a thing now, a Michael Raparez justification?
You'd like it to be.
I guess that answers that question.
I have the button.
And have you noticed how this podcast gets louder the drunker we get?
Yes.
Like, the first segment was very solemn and like, well, I did like this game.
Hold on, we have to keep the game deals nice and clean. Last but not least, Amazon.com. I was wondering if things... I didn't do anything. It's weird.
Michael had a justification.
I thought Mike clicked the button.
I would like to point out Walmart.com, if you don't mind, has the first Viva Pinata for 1982, which I like.
1982. Strange
price. Yes. Stranglehold is 12.
Also, the year E.T. came out.
Yes. Stranglehold is
the year you were born.
Stranglehold is 1282.
Can I talk some more over you?
And I don't know if anybody cares. Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, $20.
No. You interrupted me in my all-important Amazon segment, which is usually the best deal you're going to find anywhere, because they've been matching a lot of people.
Go for it.
I meant to bring this up first only because Rock Band 2, I'm like, wow, that's really cheap. Is it over? Is the music craze over? Because before these games sell premium prices well into the next game.
Maybe.
No. Guitar Hero World Tour came out, 2 months ago?
November, so about 2 months ago, yeah.
Guitar Bundle, PS3 and 360, $59.99.
Wow. That's like a $30 drop.
It normally starts at $100.
Oh, really? I thought it was 80. Speaking of this, also in Walmart is the AC/DC Live Pack that they put out. It was $40 and it's marked down to $30.
Well,
which is still that game.
Let me know when they pay me $30.
Yes.
It's just so shitty. Like, Harmonix is so good about that, to see this really shilly AC/DC live, like, with no frills whatsoever.
I believe Dan Amrak brought that up in one of the podcasts. They are good. Harmonix is pretty good about that. That was a stipulation by AC/DC.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amazon, whatever. I love Amazon. Blue Dragon, $12.99. Again, I encourage people to pick that up. It's really cheap, really long. Get your money's worth. Microsoft point cards are 10% off. Not bad. And Metal Slug Anthology for PS2 is $17.99. 7 Metal Slugs for under $20 is reason enough for me to believe in a god. Metal Slug is awesome.
And you believe in God?
Only when a Metal Slug deal comes out.
Why Metal Slug?
Have you not played the Metal Slugs?
Yes, I've played like 4 of them, and they're all the same.
It's just exactly, but it's just something I fell in love with in the arcades, and my friends kept that love, and we play every one. It always makes us giggle, and it's the same thing, yes, but usually they ask a fair price.
Yeah.
They don't charge a premium price for their repackaged game over and over again. I don't know what the deal is in Japan. I imagine they're getting gouged, and we get to receive the best of it. Anyway, that was the game deal segment.
Take my advice and do as I say. Save a little money for a rainy day.
Shit.
What is that
I don't know
from?
Maybe next time we will.
He just said where it was from.
Oh, he did? I was...
A 1940s Donald Duck cartoon where he forces the kids to
Donald's
right.
birthday. I was listening at that point.
You require no skill on this podcasting. to listen.
I listened and then I forgot.
I'm kidding.
I like now that we're getting into the community segment, in the art appreciation, the fan art thread, Creative Assassin made TalkRadar collectible card game cards, and it's like we all have like power, toughness, and agility, and we all have a quote at the bottom of the card, kind of like Magic the Gathering has flavor text at the bottom. And I love Charlie's quote, and I remember him saying this, but I don't remember what context it is. The quote on the bottom of his card is, "We had a cow in the house. That cow was my uncle."
I don't remember
saying that. Did I actually say that?
I remember you saying that. Like, we had a cow in that house, and I remember how you said it. That cow was my uncle.
Do you remember the context at all?
No, I really don't. Getting to the question of the week. Last week, the question of
Wait, hold tight. I love those cards, and I want to say I love Creative Assassin. Only calling out a time, because I don't remember a lot. Michael's quote is mine.
Oh.
Shane doesn't have a quote. It's by Jade Raymond, courtesy of Michael Raparez.
Right.
And Charlie, you have 2 intelligence.
that seems wrong somehow.
I know. Well, because I should have more intelligence than anybody.
I can refute some of this. One, the cars need to be differentiated.
Exactly.
You have to have that. Two, the Shane quote, even though it's Jade Raymond, makes sense because part of Shane's power was that he can enslave women with his dance, The Hyperactive Child, and so it was a relation to the dance, and the dance is Jade Raymond. Whatever. It's a really fun thread, the fan art thread in Games Radar forums, which you should be a part of.
I'll be putting all that up on MySpace as soon as I possibly can.
Last week's question of the week was, what do you listen to while you play? Extremely popular thread. Got over 1,000 views, lots of responses. Most of which, are just people saying their playlist, what they play. Yeah. The funniest one that I found was, I believe also a new user on top of this was Defrug77777.
I just point that out. If you make us laugh, you'll usually get a mention.
He listened to Bon Jovi while playing Spartan Total Warrior.
Good Christ!
Oh, really? I don't know. That made me
Bon Jovi.
That made me low. Also, Michael's taking a picture. We have a lot of Street Fighter pictures though, which I'd like to use on the thread this week.
Oh, the Street Fighter event. Well, I would try to take a picture in front of this giant Street Fighter screen. And Brett's like, run over right when the battle ends and stand in front of Balrog and do the Balrog pose. And I fell in a hole.
Yeah.
And
we do have a picture of
just
you
like
pose.
E.T.
I hope
we do have a picture of Chris posing with E Honda on a giant projector screen, which will probably be either in this week's thread or on the actual TalkRadar 35 page. Yeah, that was question 18. What do you listen to while you play? We all kind of went through everything last week. Oh, real quick though, before I go into the next question, I have to give a shout out to everyone who appeared to have signed up just to answer this question, and it's a huge list. Let me, because I want to make it a point to everyone to get their shout out. We have, damn it, my writing is so sloppy. Lister Fiend, M1 Guess Who, Russian Red 90, Mochilla, Arch Scabby, Hey exclamation point, Chicago Tex, who's been very active.
Oh, I love Chicago. He's my new friend on Xbox Live. He made me laugh a lot this week.
Yeah, Chicago Tex made it. Some joke, I can't remember what, but I responded in the forums like, that was funny.
He was really funny. Like, he just jumped on last week. Tex, you really made me laugh, man.
Chicago Tex, Foamy Skiing, Psychonical, Panzer DSS, Vampire Inn, Jeff the Fatty, I Love Horsies,
Jeff the Fatty,
Grat G, Man Bear Pig, Wingdom, and Compressor Logic. All of you, thank you for signing up just to answer.
I won't be happy until I get Professor.
Thank you.
And we'll be happy till what?
Until I get Professor Murder on the.
Well, Professor Murder, look up Mr. Show, kids. I'm not telling you again.
Yeah, we should just go buy some and give it away.
Go buy all.
Hey, and by the way, you know what? Don't give any shit about how long it takes you to get stuff, because if it's been 2 days since the contest ends, if it's free shit, you don't get another site.
Yeah.
Second, when you send your thing, kids, figure out how to send your address, name, street, city, state, zip code.
The security number.
If we can't mail you a thing, then you won't get it.
I'm going to stop emailing you back for clarification.
Yeah, we have several contests running at any given time, and we need
complete. You've been really painful to me. You guys are being real pricks. There's even a thread in the podcast forum like, "Where's my stuff?" I'm like, one is sent, and the other one has been a day since it stopped. And if you look on the site, my picture is on a giant piece of article with 84 pieces of custom art. I want to throttle these kids. Hey, shut it up.
The point is because Chris is feeling very emotional. He is busy. He has a lot. We all have much stuff to do, but you will get all of the things you have won. Absolutely, we will not forget. It just takes a second to get to.
Except for the Ninja Town posters. I gave up on that because you guys were dolts.
Yeah, it's just good practice. If you win something and you actually want it, do provide full shipping information. We're not going to ask you for anything more than just your shipping information.
If you send me 7 criterias with colons, first name, colon, last name, colon, I'm going to delete you. I may ban you in the future, so please don't send me an address like that anymore.
Who's getting
That's happened way more than necessary. Like people, do you kids really have you never mailed the letter? I think that might be the case.
Is there a problem with them breaking it down? First name, last name, colon. Like, what's wrong with that?
I have 300 of these to sift through on any given time. So any extra effort you make me put into giving away stuff and like basically prolonging more work I have to do and reasons.
All right, everyone listening, let's all go buy Chris some diapers.
No, I'm a happy baby. I'm a happy baby.
and maybe a rattle to distract him from all the hard things he has to write.
And a pearl anklet.
You're holding up a pregnancy magazine with a baby's ass on it.
Guys,
that wasn't the point.
So moving on to question.
Don't send me the correct address. Make me wanna.
No, it's true. It's true. If you win something, please give your complete address.
Please give us your correct address.
Somebody actually want the British stuff.
You won't get shit.
Yeah. Did anyone ask for Vicar of Dibley or whatever?
I got the first 20 pages of the comments.
Yeah, that was the most comments I've ever seen on an article. Anyway, question 19. By the way, I opened up the questions of the week to the readers. I said, please send me your questions of the week via the Games Radar messaging system, not the forum PM. The Games Radar, you sign in, make an account. That's what lets you leave comments. Please send me messages there. I got a lot.
There is a joke about that in Fan Radar.
Maybe there is. I did get them all, but we had one more this week that we came up with. We will start the reader submitted ones next week. I did get a lot of really good ones though, so keep sending them definitely, and I'll start using them next week. This week, what's the biggest video game lie you've ever told? Back in the day, it was very prevalent because there was no internet at all.
Exactly.
It did not exist. There was no internet. You could not fact check anyone on anything.
Exactly.
So what was something that you maybe fib? It can be a big lie. It can be like you fibbed about something like a mode in a game that didn't exist, a game you swear exists that wasn't actually there, but you're like, oh, I saw it when I was on vacation in Florida. Which was my frequent excuse because I was always in Florida. I'm like, oh, did you know there's like 7 Mega Man vs. Godzilla games? Or whatever. My biggest one was, and it's pretty known at this point among all my friends, but like in grade school, I insisted I had the Zapper that came with the NES. There was the gray and white one that came with the original system, and then like a year later they decided, well, that looks too much like a gun somehow, so here's a bright red one.
Orange.
It was orange, yeah.
It was orange. I didn't have the stupid orange one. I had the real one. Sorry, all you guys came late and didn't really play an NES.
I don't have the deluxe.
I had the gray one.
All
my friends had the stupid orange one.
Yeah, that orange one I threw away if anyone brought it in my house.
You were like, oh, this is your property? Here.
I would like to point out, anybody who complained and cowered in front of a gray Zapper probably should be dead anyway and not spreading their...
it's true. I insisted I had a really cool dark blue and black Zapper.
This does sound kind of cool.
It does sound really cool, doesn't it?
First bike.
Yeah, a really, really nice midnight blue and dark black Zapper, and I was like, oh, but my dad has it with the rot. And every time somebody would come over, they'd be like, hey, can I see that Zapper? I have to think really quick on my feet. Oh, my dad.
A meteor shower! Meteor showers happening right now.
Oh, we gotta go. The house is on fire. And I would always have to cover up this lie. And I mean, like 10 years later, they're like, you never had one. No, of course I didn't. Shut up. Like, we're all stupid kids. What do you think? Everybody lies about everything when you're a kid. So, anyone else?
About beating
An interesting question. I think I just told the standard lies about like they were like half filtered from exchange students that I'd met from the Philippines, but it's like, oh yeah, I hear that in Japan they're already up to like Super Mario 8. And this was like in maybe 87, 88, something like that. Yeah, and Castlevania's like up to 5.
Still mine.
Well, I think it was a pretty common one. So.
I remember it happening a lot. They're up to like 8 Marios in Japan.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nobody had like the uncle who worked at Nintendo and
yes, I did too. Or like, yeah, my uncle works at Nintendo in Japan, and so like, I think he got what I think is, in hindsight, I think his wires got crossed about his information wires got crossed about Final Fantasy and Mario. So he took 3 is technically like 6, and there's like 18 of them over there, and like we just don't have them anymore. And Okay, yeah, fine.
And this is harder to pull off.
That actually sounds familiar. I think I heard that same lie growing up.
Yeah, I heard there were 8, but they're only going to give us 3 because Americans don't like.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 games in between what we think of as 2 and 3.
My uncle lives here, so I beat them all. I beat Bayou Billy 3 and 4.
I'm a big Road Blasters fan. I beat them all.
You still see things like that though. Like if you look on GameSpot's user reviews, what was it like? GTA 4, like a year before it came out, someone was like, "Yeah, I already played the Japanese version of this, and it really sucks."
My buddy on the forums, Eagle, sent me a message about my friends keep insisting that there's a portable Xbox game system coming out called the Xbox 180.
Yeah.
And your friends are the same liars I grew up with.
Yeah, it is.
That's not happening at all.
It's weird that it's still prevalent in an age where you can fact check someone in an instant. But yeah, there's no Microsoft handheld coming
First of all, Xbox is doing fine. Microsoft is losing a lot of money on the Red Ring stuff. They're not going to create a handheld anytime soon, especially with the PSP isn't a failure, but they're kind of at a loss of what to do with it. Second, nobody names their new console, lesser than their old.
Yeah, nobody goes backwards.
We have the partial Nintendo.
To be fair, it looks like maybe his friends didn't originate the lie because there's like mock-ups of this thing all over Google.
Yeah, there are mock-ups, but I mean that's been a rumor since 2001. so Charlie, did you have a lie?
No, I was a pretty honest kid.
Come on.
I guess I didn't lie to my friends by telling tall tales. I lied to my parents in order to play games. Like,
that works.
Oh well, who didn't do that?
Yeah, and I lied to them about if they thought a game looked a little too adult or violent. I'd be like, oh no, don't worry about it. It's because it's got this and this in it, not because it's got nudity or blood.
Did you tell those lies about Leisure Suit Larry? Because I sure did.
I never pulled that one off. I never was able to get Leisure Suit Larry. I think I might have tried, but
no interest in playing Leisure Suit Larry.
That's because
I really did.
Haven't gone through puberty yet.
I remember going because I
had Cinemax and HBO for that. I didn't need to play a game.
I didn't have a PC.
See a pixelated leg.
Those were interactive.
Hey, that's still something I'm chasing after is a porn game that could legitimately work for my phone.
That doesn't exist.
I remember bringing it up to, hey, any of your games got any nudity? Like, yeah, I guess. Leisure Suit Larry, let me see it.
I had a guy ask me that in a Best Buy once.
Let me see it. What do you got? Well, I guess there's a forced sex scene in Phantasmagoria.
Yeah, there is.
Let's see it.
Well,
I have now.
In the
It's
thread,
not sexy at all. But...
In the thread, I would prefer that the answers be a lie you told about your achievements in games, or like games that are out that you swear you've played but don't actually.
The good thing about doing it in the forums is that it's not embarrassing. Like everybody's doing it. Like they're just got a fun story, so you don't have to be scared, even if it's new. Like when I told Eric I played Naruto when I reviewed it, I didn't.
Oh yeah. Well yeah. Like
a joke, but.
And
I just wrote a review like, the battle.
Oh man, you get to play as all your favorite characters. All the moves are back, simplified. Yeah, the DDR Queen, Charlie Barrett.
Yeah. And also, you lied about playing 2 Human because you never did.
God,
where are the achievements?
I lost them all.
Right.
You see my deadliest catch achievements? Did I lie about that?
Well,
would I lie about that?
I don't think you should have admitted that you ever played it.
Exactly.
And for the iTunes review of the week, which we are back to a 5-star rating on iTunes. Woo!
You didn't have to shut up.
With a total of 184 user reviews, the most recent one being, I love listening to this show. I want to put an expositional rant here, but none is coming to me. Just give it a listen. Maybe one day they'll cover the best game ever, Pong.
That's not the best game.
Those paddles get me so excited, spank me.
It's the only controller that's very easy to insert.
Yeah. What about a zapper?
To engulf. There's a hard edge. I have that. That's the image I have that I think I'll post in the forums. It's called Duck Hunt. And I gotta be very careful how I say that. Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
Yes. Moving on, let's get into plugs. Next week I have another podcast. Contest answers, yes. I have another podcast to do, but more importantly, Fan Radar. Just go to mypodcast.com. Search for Fan Radar. Fan Radar, fans of Games Radar, fans of TalkRadar, making their own podcast. One of us appears. It's probably the least articulate person on the podcast.
I'm not in it, though.
Yeah. We keep our S, fine. But yes, Fan Radar. I gotta plug Fan Radar.
Next week I'll have the top 7. It's one that was suggested and requested by our readers. So if you're one of those mysterious people that's somewhere, I can't find the location anymore, ask for this particular top 7. It's happening, and just to tease it, it's top 7 starts, or as Chris would say, initials.
Ooh, I can't wait to see
Number 1.
And it doesn't sound exciting.
Antonio Banderas, man, he really wanted to kill Sylvester Stallone.
In the movie Ass In.
Double ass in.
Double ass in. 2 asses go in.
Oh, they make you mad, see? Alright. Michael Brett, see something.
God, more 90s references.
Can't help it. That decade happened, and I was there for the entire thing.
The keyword for what I'm working on is delays.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I'm working on a piece of Charlie's other feature that he failed to mention. And I'm also presently writing a review for Moon, which I'm trying to do something different with. So it's more fun to read than a typical review. And also
make it a point to look for that. I want to give us feedback.
Yeah, definitely check out the Moon review. And even if you're not interested in the game Moon, I'm very interested to see what you think of the review itself. If you thought it was, if you think it's fun to read, like, did you feel? I don't know. I really want to know what everybody thinks about the Moon review.
And be honest, we'll start a thread in the forums. We're trying to look at a different way to come at games that you may like. So for games and people to read.
Only know, I know of some games that aren't announced that I'm trying to work some deals that Games Radar would be able to discuss first. So we'll get to reveal some stuff, but I really cannot say anything about it yet. But cool things coming.
I tried. Needed a sound. Mickle, you already went. Holy shit!
Yes, I did.
My mother died giving blowjobs on the internet.